Not bad, not bad. How you doing, Trace? Had to get some DMs out. You hit the groups or the appropriate groups.
Yeah, I believe I got everything out to everybody that needs to be out. I sent one to J Spec, so we'll see when he gets in here. But yeah, man, I'm excited to talk this fight card. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, it'll be a fun card to talk. I'm actually gonna man, I gotta grab a pen and paper. Do the same thing I did last week. Whatever bets I say I'm gonna place in here, I will absolutely make sure I place them tomorrow. Last week, killed it on the bets. It was like 13-5, I think, 13-4. Uh, but if I can get and place the units right, so I only came out like 1 unit ahead. But whatever, playing for free is the same as winning in my book. So
No, for sure.
as long as they're not getting it, I'm winning.
I'm gonna prove some of these guys requesting the mic for now. We are gonna have a guest getting on here soon, though. So whenever the guest does come on, it won't be as much open mic. It'll just be a few of the guys that are mostly the host with the speaker. But we'll let y'all on for now so we can talk until he gets in here.
Man, I tell you what, we ain't gotta like get too deep into it yet, but this card's gonna get going out of the gate. This card is gonna get moving right out the gate.
Absolutely.
Very excited about that first fight. Just because I know it's gonna be one of those opening fights that you're just like, man, this is fucking awesome, and half the people missed it.
And guess what? We're going to talk about that first fight for probably 20 fucking minutes.
Have to rush through the rest of them. Trey's talking about, I promised him he wouldn't have to be here all night, guys.
That first fight is
Every
super
time.
intriguing, though, man.
Oh yeah.
There's a couple fights in this card that's it's very interesting matchmaking, man. It's a lot of fights that are a lot closer than people that make it out to be. It's a good fight card.
Oh yeah, it's a banger of a card, that's for damn sure. Curious to see what some of your guys' takes are on some of these fights. We waiting on J Spec.
Yeah, we can start off with some scratch it and bet if you got it. If not, we can just kind of freestyle it for a bit.
I don't have any scratch it or bet it's right now, brother. To be honest, I've been so immersed in the site that I haven't took my head out of it. If all works well within I'd say 2 weeks, we should have live fighter stats on the site, like right on the odds board. Just click the odds board, just click their name, and it'll compare them side by side. Uh, Trying to get like the most in-depth stats that anybody has. Like if I can get everything I'm trying to gather live, man, we will be the super front runner. I've got everything everybody else has, plus a little bit more. I'm just trying to pass them up. And then I'm going to implement it so that any fight on the odds board, if it matches UFC fighters, you can just compare the stats side by side. And then after I get that working, I'll go back and do one because we get their odds. My problem with doing Bellator and PFL is I have no idea what's going to go on with uh, all their pages and their structure and everything else. It's hard for me to want to commit to putting anything into tracking or live reading or anything that on them because it's all subject to change or just stop working a couple months from now. So I don't know. A little torn about that one, but I'll definitely master it on UFC and we'll get one on there for sure.
Absolutely, man. Always working on the website, always looking to improve. Only a matter of time before we slowly start to take over the game, boys. I feel it, man. We are on to something good. Strong group of guys, growing fan base. We do it, man. We're just
Plus
heading in the
better
right direction.
fathers.
But better fathers, man. That's most importantly. How you doing, Daniel?
Do it good, but I feel like an addict who's looking for their fix. Tomorrow night can come up fast enough.
I hear that, brother. I hear that, man. It's cool. I'm curious. Feel free to put your hands up to talk on the subject. What is everybody's most anticipated fights for the night? Like, what is the fight to you that's most you're interested to see how it's going to play out? Like for me, I think I'm gonna start it off with I think it's the Evil Ev and Tom fight. I feel like we're gonna see what his Arnold Allen fight, or I think we're gonna see what Arnold Allen's wrestling looks like further in his career now. Because there was some questions about it early on in his career, and we all know historically the Englishmen aren't always the best wrestlers. So it's a very interesting test for him. And yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun fight all the way around. But Joe, what do you got, bro?
So I, I'm really interested in the Jasmine Jazdavicius fight now, just because of all the weight miss and the go up the weight class, and she was already on target. She was 130 the day before. They did 135 because Priscilla couldn't get there. Like I just, yeah, that one's got me definitely just because of all that. Like I'm one of them guys. I want to see all that bullshit play out. The one I want to see play out the least, though, is the co-main, and then the main event is the big fight for me, which it's supposed to be, but it's not always as fans. But this weekend, the main event is the big one for me. Daniel.
Well, for me, let's see, from the top, it has to be the co-main event because, well, as y'all know, I have both family in Colorado and in Florida. I'm just going with the battle IQ with Pennington. The second one looking forward to is Neil Magny versus Mike Mallet. I mean, once again, I got family in Colorado, but I got family where in California, and then Mallet fights Team Alpha Male. So it's a battle of the favorites for me for those two fights.
I'm having problems with my app on my phone, so I'm not going to approve or anything tonight for anybody. So I'd rather check out the hands and shit for me. I can't see nothing without shutting down the space.
You can't see anything. What you mean?
Like all I can do is see the little small bar at the bottom of my window with cap the. I guess right now I see the thing for request to speak, but I can't bring it up to look and see who's all in the chat, who's got their hands raised or anything like that.
You can't invite me to co-host then either, can you? I seen J Spec was in here.
Dude, I think spaces are being dumb because I had an issue the first time I tried getting in. He tried inviting me to co-host and something bugged out, so I had to leave and come back. And I usually don't even have to do that.
Well, we gotta figure out something because he's got to be able to get people on and off the mics. Man, that would suck to shut it down to open it back up. You're not able to open the menu or anything, Trace? Oh, man. Dead,
Trace, you there?
dead picks, I would just stay
Yeah,
live.
I'm here. I'm here. I just can't. I can't do nothing right now.
Even
All
if you
right.
guys shut down the space, I'm gonna keep the YouTube running. It's running pretty smooth right now. I just got like a boost in my Wi-Fi or some shit, so it's a good test today. I want to see how this works out for the stream, at least for YouTube. So whatever happens, if you guys have to reopen up a space, we can just do that. The
I'm gonna
YouTube will be
close my
fine.
app real quick. I'm gonna close my app real quick. It might kick everybody out. It might close it out. I don't know, but I'm gonna take a chance on it. Uh, if not, if it does kick it off, I'll bring the space right back up. So hop right back in, guys.
We ain't going nowhere, brother. We ain't going nowhere.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Trace,
We
lag
ain't
us all the fuck out.
going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere.
Nowhere.
Because it's
Oh, nice
bad boys
one.
for life.
I feel
That
like
was terrible. Okay.
What's
No, that
up,
was
No,
great,
Chris?
dude.
no,
What's
that
up,
was not.
Pop?
That was not.
Sorry for the technical difficulties, though. For real,
No,
though,
you're
this
fine. You're
usually
fine.
doesn't happen.
I'm just being silly.
Nah, you guys are good. Appreciate you guys though. For real though, if the space does close, don't be afraid to jump back in. Open
If
mic
it
and
lets
shit.
Trace back in here, back into the host spot, I quit because
Oh, give it about 20 seconds. I just got the notice. It's going down.
yeah.
It's going down.
We'll
The
see you
shit's
guys in
I'm
going
about
down,
yelling
30 to
people.
45
timber.
seconds.
Trace's phone says reconnecting right now, but it's not. It's not. All right, I'll get the invites back out. Shit. Well, I mean, I want to see if there's a miracle too, I guess, but
Nope. It's going down.
if we all leave, it'll probably let him get the new one up faster and stop and not fuck with
I don't
his
think that would make a
connection.
difference. All I want is a miracle.
Well, I just seen.
All I want.
Man!
Sorry.
Trace, it let you back in there?
Oh no.
Oh yeah, we are up.
Really?
We are up and running, brothers. We ain't got to close this bitch out. Let's rock with it.
Yeah, can you see
Yep,
everything?
I'm
we're
up
good to
in this
go.
hole. Let's go.
Get a co-host while you can, in case your shit lags up. We can control the mics.
Yeah. Anybody but me, I recommend. I would be the co-host of
Andrew's
last
always a
resort.
strong connection, bro. I always recommend him if he's available.
Counterpoint, I'll stop singing if you make me co-host. So this is a ransom situation.
Chris, you've been working for years trying to get a co-host in Rob's space, man.
Rob and I apparently have beef. I want him dead more than I want me alive. Happy New Year, Rob. Hey, pussy, are you still there? Get the first one of the year in there, because even though it's not your space, welcome.
How we doing, boys?
Oh, and legitimately condolences with your family. I know I joke around about, serious things, but, family tragedy. I'm not making fun of that.
All right. So how we doing tonight, boys? So we finally got Rob in here on the mic. Welcome, Rob. It's good to have you, brother. We've been trying to get you on for a minute now, and had a few things that just didn't pan out for us, but you're here now, man, and we're excited to do this shit.
Uh, Testing. Can y'all hear me?
Coming in
Loud and
clear,
clear,
buddy.
Rob.
Excellent.
Aloha, mahalo to your
Man, thank you. First off, thank you. Thank you so much. That's all I can really say, What can you say when you're invited to somebody's house? Except, thank you. Glad to be here. And can't wait to talk UFC with you guys.
For sure, for sure. Joe, what you got?
Me and Rob been known each other in these spaces a long time. Just having him a guest here, I just want to properly say welcome to the space, Rob. And I have odds. I don't know if anybody's got tail of the tape. Just to let you know, Trace.
I think Andrew is going to hop on or start off the tell of the tape for us. I believe it's what we spoke about in the spaces. If not, I can do it. I just need what you got, Andrew.
Are we rocking right now?
Yeah. If we got nothing to start off with, we can go ahead and jump straight into the card then.
Oh, wait. 1 second. 1 second. Can I say something? Can I rudely interrupt the procession?
What's up, buddy?
Absolutely.
Joe, first off, thank you, sir. Bro, definitely, it was too short, too sweet. I know we were a little busy during fight week, but it was good to see you in real life, man. And I just want to take this moment to say, shout out to all the MMA content creators. You know what I mean? Like, this is not a pat on my back, but I know this is a respect, a salute to Joe and a lot of other people. And you don't have to be MMA; you can be whatever content creation you do. But the effort and stuff that goes in, and I see a lot of good, friendly faces, repeat faces that I know in this room, and that means you guys are spending time with us. So we're making the time to make it happen, and you guys are making the time to spend it with us. And if you guys know a lot about life, which I know you guys do, then I know you heard the phrase, the greatest thing you can give anybody is time. And so thank you. Thank you for your time. And thank you for appreciating the time we put in to kick it with you guys. All right, there you go. Boom. Let's go. UFC 297, your show.
That's how you start a card right there,
Wait.
brother. Go ahead.
Let me interrupt Trace real quick. Let's do this in 60 seconds, Rob. Your images, the ones you're getting, are those generated?
Images, what you mean, man?
You've had a couple sweet images you've posted on your Twitter that say like they got your tag on them or whatever. Are those
Like,
generated?
yeah. If it's obviously not a photo, then yeah. Bro, use the power of AI, man. The power of AI is
Oh,
out there. It's
you have no. I was using AI for about 6 hours today, bro. You have
dude,
no idea.
dude.
I spotted it
Isn't no?
because
Isn't it like
you can't avoid the Russian. Bro, there is no engine anywhere that you can get them to stop putting Russian in the fucking photo. It drives me insane.
yeah? I think that's a design. Because they want it to be obvious that it's an AI. Like there's obvious flaws that they create to make it AI because if not, uh, it's scary, bro. Like I thought. Thank you for bringing this up. I know it's a little off topic, but to anybody who's an artist or with artistic skills, you got to be shitting your pants right now. I'm just saying.
Bro, listen. I probably had AI. So, like, I'm into coding and building our website. I probably used AI to do $2,500 worth of coding work today, and it did it all for me. Like, I had to
Word.
know what to do. I had to, it took me 6 hours to get it to do it all. But I shit you not, it would have probably cost me $2,500 to have done what I did today with AI.
It's what's available is scary, and I say that in a positive way. Scary in the sense of if you guys are fans of fucking Terminator, you know what's next. And I've been a
Oh,
Terminator fan my whole life,
it's
so
unavoidable, bro. That bitch.
da-dun.
Anyway, sorry, Trace.
There you
Sorry,
go.
I spotted something as the tech guy over here and had to ask. My bad, Trace. Go ahead with the space.
You got these two nerds just nerding out and shit. My God, man.
Yeah, go ahead, Andrew. Go ahead
Yeah.
and jump into whenever you're ready, Andrew. You can jump into the tail of the tape, brother.
I got you, buddy. We're going to start it off lightweight bout. Malcolm X Gordon versus Jimmy the Brick Flick. This is going to be an interesting fight. Malcolm Gordon 14-7, Jimmy Flick 16-7. They are both 5'7", both 125 pounds, except Malcolm Gordon does have a 3-inch reach advantage. Jimmy Flick fights orthodox. However, Malcolm Gordon is a switch striker. So we can go to the stats. There's a minor difference. They both average about 2 strikes landed per minute. However, strikes absorbed per minute, Malcolm Gordon is only at 2.26. Jimmy Flick is over 5, man. If you watch Jimmy Flick's fights, that represents that very well. Both have terrible takedown defense, 42% to 38%. Both coming off of 2 losing streaks. So someone's got to win. Unless they don't. Unless someone's fucking froggy enough to bet a draw. But I don't have a super passionate take about this fight. Would anybody like to start this off?
Average odds global. We're reporting it over 30 books right now. Jimmy Flick's average is plus 168. Malcolm Gordon is minus 208. If you are in the U.S., you are probably seeing Jimmy Flick closer to 174, which is better for you. And unfortunately, that means you're seeing Malcolm Gordon closer to like 215, which sucks if you're betting Malcolm Gordon. I didn't mean to jump in, Trace. Just trying to give the odds. I don't need to give the first take, brother. Rob, you want to kick this one off?
Oh, thank you. Um, so I'll jump in with an admonishment to Mr. Gordon for missing weight. You know, I got to do that. You know, it's only fair. But with that being said, you know, I make jokes about this, but it's really actually something I believe. When two fighters are dead even, which this is not the case, uh, you know, I look to their nicknames. Now, why am I bringing this up? This has nothing to do but a segue to nicknames. I don't know if you guys know this, but since Jimmy Flick changed his name from the Prick to the Brick to PG it up, I think he's gone like 0-4. That's not real science. That could be like 0-3, but it's not
Oh
good.
and two, oh
Base
and two, brother. Oh and
zero and
two.
2, whatever. That's still 1,000% losing. I guess my final message on this is if you're gonna make a gimmick, stick to it. You know. And with that being said, I'm going with Gordon because he clearly look, folks. The people who have chosen to take 30% discount on their paycheck, the win percentage is stupid high. And there you go. That's my analysis.
Yeah. So I got on the I got on Malcolm Gordon pretty early on the numbers. Got him at minus 180, or earlier than the line is now. Kind of regret my bet on that line. I feel like the rather than trying to pick a side in this fight, I think this fight is not going to last very long. Whether whoever wins, no matter which side is on the winning side, I feel like the under 1.5 was probably the better play for this one. I think it's like minus 124 is what I'm looking at. I feel like whoever wins will win pretty early on because both these guys make mistakes. Um, Pretty one sided on the feet. In reality, Malcolm Gordon's got a pretty decent striking advantage on him because Jimmy Flick's just that bad on the feet. But on the ground, Jimmy Flick is by far the better grappler as far as being on the floor and submission wise. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting fight that I really wish I wouldn't have picked a side on. I just should have went for violence instead. So under 1.5, but I did take the Malcolm Gordon money line. Uh, Joe, take it.
All right, so I'm also playing the fight to go the distance, no, or the under 1.5. That'll depend on what the odds are when I sit down with it in the morning. I'm going to do same day bets, and then I'm actually going to put a few pennies, probably something like a quarter unit, something small, on the Jimmy Flick submission. I think Jimmy Flick's grappling and submission upside is superior to Malcolm Gordon's knockout upside. He could prove me wrong there, but I feel pretty confident that it goes to the ground in the first. Um, I don't know that I don't know that the submission happens in the first, so I'm not going to start playing rounds because I think it could run into the second and get back to the ground as well. But I definitely think it goes to the ground. I'm taking the dog in this one.
Correction, Joe. I actually lied. I got Malcolm Gordon at minus 130 for 2 units. So I did get a good fucking line on him. And at that line, I do feel a little bit better now that I bet it. Usman.
I told y'all boys this is Johnny Value over here, man. I'm Value Boy this year. We're going Jimmy Flick by KO plus 1,200 because these fighters are not good. What's gonna happen? Jimmy Flick is gonna get a takedown against that 9% takedown defense. He's going to look for a sub, but Malcolm Gordon got that tiny head, and he's just gonna get on the back. Malcolm Gordon's going to get flattened out, and then we're going to see Jimmy Flick get his first KO in his history of his career. So, Jimmy Flick by KO. Let's do something crazy with two bad fighters.
I don't know, man. I think the Canadians are going to look pretty good tonight or tomorrow night. Andrew, what do you got, man?
Yeah, one thing I just want to say about this fight is I know we talked about it earlier in the chat, but the line movement worries the fuck out of me. I think he did. I think Gordon did open at like a minus 120 or 130. And now he's like minus 220. Um, I don't know if you guys have ever watched Malcolm Gordon fight, but he's not very good, to be honest. Honestly, I think one of these guys are getting cut, if not both of them, after this fight. Jimmy Flick, I feel like it's one of those things where Malcolm Gordon's either going to knock him out or Jimmy Flick is going to sub him. Either way, to bet Malcolm Gordon minus 220 is insane. But I am not one of those guys to bet on a line just because I feel like there's value per se. So I may just stay safe, go with Usman and take the under in this fight. I'm probably going to take under 1.5 because it's going to be quick. Because I can't pick a side. I can't. This is no way.
I understand that completely, man. It's a tough fight. Like I said, I definitely would be betting Malcolm Gordon at this line for sure. Uh, Better times. Go. What you got, my man?
Yeah, actually, I got Gordon at 130 as well. I saw it as soon as it opened up, and I broke down the tape. It's I saw this is what I see. I see the kryptonite to Jimmy Flick is just aggressive striking. He doesn't know how to defend it. Malcolm Gordon is an aggressive striker, albeit not a good one, but he is aggressive. And also, what I see is when it comes to the wrestling, he's not really a bad wrestler. Like if he when he gets taken down, he does get back up and he's safe about it. He doesn't leave himself open to submissions. And when he initiates his own takedowns, he doesn't really give his opponent space to work with. So I see this as an advantage everywhere for um, Malcolm Gordon. So I jumped on the 130 line. The 200, it's up there because everyone took advantage of that 130 line. So that's my bet.
Well, I think there's no more hands, so I'll have back in there. Trace, I heard you say you got it at 130, and then I heard Better say it, but I had some commotion over here. I didn't want to get back on
Yeah,
that.
I think
I
Daniel. I think it's Daniel's got his hand up.
I did.
Oh, I didn't see it. Well, I just
It's
want to say good job smoking that fucking line, boys. That's getting it. I will also throw out the ideology of that. They don't lose that bad, man. If everybody's on them, fade the public. Damn, go ahead.
yes. I believe Flick will submit Malcolm X Gordon, and then he'll get cut because this is the second time he missed weights. He's got to pay the price, man. And yeah, that's what you get. I mean, two people laughed at me in the group chat for picking Flick. Who's laughing now? Malcolm didn't even make weight.
He makes a good point. The dude's on a 2-fight losing streak. He's on his way
Both.
out of the UFC, and Dana does. Dana always enforces the weight cuts when it's fighters that don't matter. But when it comes to the bigger fighters, he does. Similar to like crimes with like high profile NFL stars
Yes,
versus
Flick
rookies and shit.
submission
Allegedly.
round one.
Gents. This is not the meritocracy era anymore. If both men are in the hot seat, both men are fighting for their jobs, and obviously for much more than that. But with that being said, we're also in the era of like, give me a highlight reel or give me a finish. More importantly, and Dana just forgets. Like, if you finish your opponent and you were plus weight, it doesn't matter. Just saying.
Yeah, the other thing to remember is Flick is 2-2 in the UFC. 2-3 isn't as bad of a position as 2-5 will be for Gordon if he loses. Gordon will be 2-5 in the UFC if he loses.
He didn't look too bad on the scales though. He didn't really drain. He didn't look like he drained himself. So
You
that
don't say.
All right,
that
boys.
makes me feel a lot better.
I'm gonna
Just
go ahead
real
and clock
quick.
this one,
Okay.
Andrew. Let's go ahead and clock this one out. We've been on this for about 20 minutes
Yeah. I'll.
already, so let's keep it
Okay.
moving, brother.
Malcolm in the middle via Flash Gordon. I've been informed that the person who missed weight was not Jiminy Glick, which is apparently a Martin Short Saturday Night Live character in a fat suit. Not like the election movie. I will not pick Flick. Give me Gordon early. No judges needed.
Chris, you're funny, bro.
Yeah, well,
I told you
I've got
guys we were
nothing.
going to
I've
talk
got
about
no
this
other
fight
talents. I
forever.
got nowhere else to go.
We are going to move on to the bantamweight division. This is another fight that I feel is going to be a pretty good fight. I'm excited for it. We have Jasmine Jazadavicius versus Priscilla Cachoeira. Jasmine is 9-3 to Priscilla's 12-5. They are both 5'7", 3-inch reach for Jasmine, 68 to 65. Both orthodox fighters. If we move to the stats, strikes landed per minute, 3.5 for Jasmine to 4 for Priscilla. Strikes absorbed per minute, 4.41 for Jasmine and 7.13 for Priscilla. So, yes, they both like to get hit. Priscilla really likes to get hit. Priscilla doesn't really grapple. Jasmine does. She averages 2 takedowns per 15 minutes at a 37% accuracy rate, and she does have a takedown defense of 80%. Both of them coming off of losses. Someone is going to win. I will let Joe kick it off with the odds, and then we will move from there.
Global average on Jasmine is a very justified minus 417. And Priscilla is plus 302. Yeah, there's no cap on this fight for me, man. This is a landslide. Jasmine, even at minus 400, is still a good parlay piece in my opinion. There's just there's no downside. She's gonna control her, grinder, beat her up, punch her in the face, take her down, probably submit her. Like I see it every way for Jasmine. Yep, that's where I'm at on it. Hands up. Well, go to Trace.
Yeah, I was interested to get on the KO prop for the Zombie Girl side, just because Jasmine Vicious does like to get in there and throw sometimes. Like, she is a tough girl that doesn't mind body down and throwing some punches whenever the grappling isn't going her way. Um, but while she shouldn't have any problem getting the takedown on Zombie Girl, Zombie Girl cracks, man. My only issue with it was I didn't want to go too heavy on it, because I did put a half a unit on the KO prop for Zombie Girl, just because it's her only path to victory, and she's gonna sling them things. And if for whatever reason they can make it past the first and second round and she's tired, she could catch her with a big punch in the third round and put her out. So I did take a sprinkle there, but I do think this should be a barn burner as far as of a fight. It should be an action packed fight for as long as it lasts. I think Jasmine should be able to take her down, should be able to beat her up, and I do think she eventually gives it the back. And JJ gets a submission in here. I did sprinkle the round 2 and round 3 JJ submission props at, I think it was plus 1200. Yeah, plus 1200 for round 2 submission, and plus 2000 plus 20 plus 2000 plus 2000. Man, I can't read. Plus 2000 for the round 3 submission prop. Yeah, I put a quarter unit on each one. So yeah, I hope she goes out there and gets a finish. But either way, I don't think this fight makes it to the judges. I think it's gonna be a crazy fight for as long as it lasts. Uh Dead, my man. We don't ever hear you speak on the mic too much. Let's hear what you got.
Yeah, so this is a Ontario card, if I'm not mistaken. So, the way I see it, they're trying to set up one of their girls. So I'm gonna take Jasmine Jastovicius. The only problem, for me is that how you already said it. If she stays standing up, I do worry a little bit that maybe Priscilla could catch her with something on the feet. But I do feel I'm on the side that if Jasmine could grapple, Jasmine would be able to grapple. Then the submission will be there. So if I'm gonna be playing this, I'm for sure playing this in the parlay. I'm taking Jasmine as an anchor. But if you were weary of either side or you wanted to hedge out, I would just take Zombie Girl by knockout. If you don't want to play either one, I would suggest just playing the fight does not go to distance. But I'm very confident that this fight will not go to distance and that Jasmine will be the victor. So give me those two pieces for parlay pieces.
Rob, my brother, go ahead, man.
Man, you guys are all wizards when it comes to like how to angle betting and stuff. I am just a simple fight observer. I'm just gonna say it like this: there's not much need for discussion. This is gonna be one thing that happens. Jasmine Jazdavicius wins. All right, Jazdavicius, hard to spell, harder to beat. She's good. She's on the rise. She's evolving uh exponentially. I'll use that word for sure. Almost per fight, right in front of our eyes. She is blossoming, folks. Like, uh, get out of the way. Like, ladies, if you're like, I want to see her fight someone real good next. She's gonna demolish this woman, and I don't think that's there's nothing left to say. Sorry, I'm stammering because that's it.
Andrew.
This is an interesting fight, man. I definitely can't take Jasmine money line because it's just way too fucking juiced, and I don't take women over 200 minus 200 unless I know for sure. I feel like the only women over 200 I really bet on was Amanda Nunes and Valentina Shevchenko. There's always exceptions, you know what I mean? Um, I don't know. The weight thing worries me. It's weird. Like Priscilla always finds a way to do some dirty shit, but her not cutting weight and staying at 135, I'm wondering if there's going to be issues with her cardio or if it's going to play to her strengths in terms of she'll have more power, right? If you watch Jasmine, she goes to decision every single fight, and she's shown she's got a fucking iron chin. That girl can take a shot. I think she can take Priscilla's best shot. Um, I might get a little bit crafty. I feel like this is an Usman type of bet. I feel like Priscilla's going to kind of gas out a little bit, and eventually Jasmine's going to get her first finish. And I feel like she's going to get that rear naked choke because Priscilla loves to lose by rear naked choke, and Jasmine's no stranger on the ground. So I might get a little bit froggy and play by sub because that's how I feel the fight's going to go.
Did you just take my breakdown and give Usman credit? What the fuck, Andrew? Better. What you got, bro?
Well, we know where you stole your breakdown from, Trace. It's all right.
Better. If you're not there, I'm gonna pass it off to Daniel then.
Are y'all
Okay,
smoking? Are
we're
y'all?
on Jasmine just Jastavicius, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much a clean sweep.
Okay, yeah. I got her too. I just can't bet it because it's a minus 400, and I don't really trust her not running into that right hand.
Yeah, that's pretty much where everybody's lined up on it. At yeah, at minus 400, listen, you can't play your money line. You just got to try to get cute with the props and hope she gets the finish like most people do that get her down the ground.
The
I
fuck
mean,
I
you've
play it
seen.
at minus 400. Why the fuck not? If I told you give me 100 grand and I give you back 125, you wouldn't take that shit.
Well, I'm not betting 100 grand, Joe.
It's the principle. It's the relative scale, Trace. It's the relative scale.
Shut that shit down real quick. All right, Daniel, what you got, man?
I don't know what y'all are smoking tonight, but Priscilla Zombie Girl will win. And first of all, it's not the first time someone at the last minute changed. I remember KJ Nudes and some other guy. They're like, "Hey, I'm not gonna make this weight. Do you want to change?" Yeah, I'm not gonna make this weight either. Let's just go over the welterweight. All right, deal. Simple as that. However, this Jasmine girl, which I've never even heard of, she only goes the distance. Zombie Girl actually finishes her fights. I got Zombie Girl, KO, TKO round one.
Fair enough, man. If she's gonna win, that's how she's gonna do it, man. So yeah, I jumped on the prop when it first came out for because I figured it would be the best line I was gonna get on it for the KO for Zombie Girl as a hedge. As a hedge, um, it came out at plus 325, but it's since gone up better, so you can actually get a better line on it now than the opening line was, which is I couldn't believe that shit. But yeah, I like the analysis that Daniel Usman. What you got, bro?
We do fight announcements on the Tuesday show. Since this fight was announced, I was telling everybody Priscilla Cachueta by KO. Um, Fuck all that, man. We saw Jasmine Jasovicius eat some nasty shots from Tracy Cortez, and I know she ain't much of a finisher either. But Jasmine's got a little bit of heart. There's no there's no other reason why they gave Jasmine a hometown fight against a fighter with shitty takedown defense right in front of her home people. So let's not overthink it. I'm with Joe. Parlay the fuck out of Jasmine. I think this is some easy money, and I think if anybody wants to get sexy with it, hit the under.
All right, good shit there, Usman. We'll close that fight out there, though. We're not going to waste any more time on that one.
Well, I just want to say, Jasmine, I do love you, but I got to stop pretending to be something I'm not. Jeannie, you're free. Jasmine, by decision.
So sometimes I get the references, but then
It's in
sometimes I
Aladdin.
don't.
Should I just do the Disney songs and sing "I Can Give You the World" or "I Can Show You the World"? Is that where I need to go with this? It's Jasmine. How many different ways do you think I was going to go with it?
Oh goodness, we're off of Jasmine. We're moving on to the welterweight division. We have Johan Linus, the hometown favorite, Mr. Canada, versus Sam Patterson. Johan is 9-2. Sam is 10-2-1. Um, Sam Patterson's 2 inches taller, 6'3" to 6'1", and there's a 2-inch reach advantage for Sam as well. Both fighting orthodox. Their stats are pretty similar. Strikes landed per minute, both are near 2.5. They both take around 3.5, 4 against. The grappling's a little bit different. Takedown defense for Johan is 80%. Takedown defense for Patterson is 33%. They are both coming off of losses as well. Man, this is a trend so far for this card. A lot of fucking people coming off of losses. Wow. I'm personally passing on this fight. I have nothing on this fight. Joe, do you want to kick the odds?
Yes. Sam Patterson global averages plus 121. Pretty even across the globe, like regionally. 123 US is the high, and 120 in Europe and the UK is the flip side of that. Johan is minus 147. There's only a few fights on this card that I don't get too excited for. I think Sam Patterson is live. I've been trying to bet way more responsibly. So I can't say that I'm actually going to lay anything on Sam Patterson, but I mean, the dude's a good prospect. I know that he's coming off he lost to who'd he lose to? God, I'll go look.
Ash Moose.
Yep, Ashmus. That's right. But he was a pretty hot prospect coming in and had the good finish on Contender Series. I like Sam, and I'd probably bet him if I was betting, but I'm responsibly skipping this fight on slips, boys.
Yeah, for me, it's just like if I knew that he could go out there and just survive for the first round, I would be all over Sam Patterson just because we know Lioness slows down. He's a 7.5 minute fighter at best. And then in his last fight, he went out and threw like a total of like 4 strikes or some shit like that because he was so scared of getting caught and getting taken down. Like I don't even know, but yeah, like if I knew he could survive, you know, the first round, I would be all over him. But it's just not enough there out there that we've seen so far in the UFC, or at least with close to UFC level of fighters, to know that he can survive to make it past that. But he is very much the side as far as like just an all around fighter. I think either side could get the finish. I would take the under in this fight. Rob, what you got on this fight, my man?
Bro, you nailed it. The fact of the matter is there's not good enough sample to know for sure with both these guys. Early when I looked at the fight, I was thinking, I'll go with Lanesi because, you know, his ass is grass, right? He's like, this is do or die for him. And I've noticed that fighters who are, on that cusp of a contract, they're very motivated and you get the best version of them usually. Now, the question is the best version of him better than an unknown version of Sam Patterson? Because Sam Patterson, previous to this, at the lower level, is a finisher, a game bird. And that's the thing. That was the game breaker for me. Like you nailed it, dude. Trace, when you said the whole like tendency, that was the 51% that made me go with Mr. Patterson on this one because I like guys that are ready to fight. You know what I mean? That show me they want to fight. I don't like guys who look like they're guessing or trying to figure it out. Especially after that was his third fight. A lot of people get blown up in their debut that we think are good, but they get blown up in their debut, and so the second fight to me is you kind of learn a lot more about the fighter, and I'm willing to take a guess. Once again, I do not endorse this fight. Like Joe said, it's probably a don't bet. I don't bet this, but you know, turkey. This is like a turd burger versus shit sandwich, and I'm going with the British. shit sandwich on this one.
Very, very interesting way of putting it, Rob. But yeah, I'm glad we lined up, man. Better. What you got on this fight, bro?
I'm actually on the Patterson side. Mainly because I'm interested to see how he looked at 170 because he fought that in his amateur career, and he looks better at 170. It looks like he should have never been at 155, and just his style. He knows how to use his length to his advantage. Now the power is something that is questionable, and I think people make too much of it because Patterson got knocked out in his last fight, and that was just a really powerful punch he got hit with, followed by like some vicious ground and pound. So it was just a bad look, and I think that's stuck in everyone's mind. But I think people forget how good Patterson really is. So if he's able to keep this at a distance, defend the takedowns from Lanez, which he has shown that he is capable of doing, I think this is a good fight, and I think it could go the distance. And an interesting bet that I just looked up: either fighter winning by decision is a plus 700.
That's gonna be a sweat though, man. For as long as that, except for as long as that fight lasts, you'll be sweating it.
That's a nice dig, though, bro. I mean, what can you get fight that goes to decision for, though? You might get it at plus 400, which is better than betting both. I haven't looked, but I would just check regular fight goes the distance.
Daniel, what do you got, man?
I don't know neither of these guys, but at the end of the day, we gotta pick one. And I'm going with Johan because that first name reminds me of an anime, but I can't remember the name. So he's got a cool name. So I'll pick Johan by KO TKO round 3.
I do not sponsor this man and his picking methods. Bet at your own risk. Good luck on that bet there, Daniel.
Same to you.
Usman.
Yeah, man. You know me. Whenever I see two low level fighters with a lot of early finishes, I always say take the over. Two low level fighters with a lot of finishes, they're gonna test each other out, and yeah, they might get the finish early and fuck everything over. But I think most of the time, they're scared of each other's power. They're scared of each other's finishing ability. They're at least going to give us that over 1.5, and that's what I'll be taking at. Let me get a second look at it. Plus 110. Yeah, I'll take a chance on over 1.5.
Whew, you're gonna be sweating them, son. You're gonna be sweating it. YB, close it out for us.
Give me Patterson round 3 for all the Monopoly money that Tajik Bey bets.
Yeah, that boy's betting Monopoly money for sure. 3.5 million. Get the fuck out of here. What'd you say you got that over 1.5 or 1.4 or over 1.5 at Usman?
Plus 110.
Damn, bro. Cool Bet is a foreign book. It's an offshore, but they got that shit at plus 144. 110 is
Nice,
the
nice.
worst line offered on it, but that's what the US gets. So fucking take what
Yeah.
you get.
All right, Andrew, go ahead and bring out the next fight. And if Chris, you come with me with some more of that Disney Channel shit, I'm gonna take your mic.
Dear God, maybe I won't do a play it again, Sam, because that's not actually spoken in Casablanca. Give me Johan inside the distance.
We're moving on to the strawweight division. Oh, Joe, you got something?
For the fight, I'm first in line for the fight.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, we're gonna move to the strawweight division. Again, another potentially interesting fight. We have Jillian Robertson versus Poliana Viana. Jillian is 12-8. Poliana is 13-6. Both 5'5". Poliana has a 4-inch reach advantage. Both fight orthodox. If we go to the stats, strikes landed per minute 2.6 for Robertson, 3.19 for Poliana. 3.21 taken back versus 2.63 taken back for Poliana. So the stats favor Poliana for striking. If we go to the grappling department, Jillian's averaging 2.5 takedowns per 15 minutes. Poliana's almost at 1. Takedown accuracy, 41 to 33%. Both have terrible 43% takedown defense. And I know this is a recurring theme on this fight card. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say it again. Both of them are coming off of losses, so someone will get a win. I do have an opinion on this one, but I know Joe wants to kick the odds, and I know he has an opinion as well, so we'll give it to him.
All right. So Jillian Robertson, global average minus 313. Pollyanna Viana plus 238 global average. I see the over 2.5 set at plus 130 through sports bet. Them dudes don't know, not everybody reports their props right. So that's just the one I'm picking right now. I see the under at minus 166. Super sad about this fight. Sad in the sense that I thought I would get it at a way better line, and I thought I was going to be sneaky, and I actually thought I would hammer Jillian. I know if you got her really early, she did drop at a much better line and got hammered. But I didn't expect to see her climb from, she was at, I think, minus 140 31 days ago at Ladbrook Sports or Lad Sportsbook. There's so many of these books on here. I just picked one. So, yeah, by the time I got to it, it was smoked. She should be minus 313. She's going to get the sub. If you're not confident in Jillian to finish her, just take the fight, go to distance. No, it's not going the distance. Maybe play the under 1.5 if you're feeling risky, but I could see the late second round being when it happens. But I feel confident this fight does not go the distance. Not to skip the host, but Rob, you want to get into this one, brother?
Oh, I'll make it short and sweet. Like, I think the I don't know if the outcome will be a finish, but I think the visual outcome, the inevitable, will be very clear. Jillian Robinson is going to win this. There you go. It's real simple, man. So plan accordingly.
Yeah, I'm taking it on the. She'll get the takedowns, 100%. She's gonna be way stronger. Jillian has looked jacked lately, so I just think the take her down and beat her up method is clearly there.
Yeah, like just to sprinkle on that, both ladies that we talked about before, there's two ladies with the same theme, like visually clearly getting better. The other two ladies are like, okay, no dissing, but they're kind of question marks. Sometimes good, sometimes not.
Jillian made
Gentlemen,
embedded
gentlemen,
too.
let me take this and tell you how it's going to happen. First round's going to be competitive. Paul Aviana's going to come out there with a firefight, trying to beat her up. She's going to hold her on the feet. She's going to slowly start to wear her down and get the late takedown in the first round. Start to advance position, but she's not enough time in the round to get the finish. So round one over with. Polyana Viana is now tired. She gets taken down in a second, controlled, ground and pounded, turns over, gives up the neck, rear naked choke. It's that easy. I took I did take the on FanDuel the submission prop round 2 or 3 for plus 340. I did put 1 unit on that. I'm pretty confident in that. But in the spirit of Usman in here, I decided to be a value boy. There was also a round 2 or 3 KO prop for Jillian Robertson. She has seemed to fall in love with the elbows from the mount. So I figured I'd give a shot on that at plus 1400 for another unit. Not a bad little bet. I feel pretty confident in it. I think the submission comes. I'm just hoping it doesn't come in the first round. Give me Jillian Robertson via sub. Andrew, I know you said you had a take, and we kind of passed you up, brother. Go ahead and give your take, my man.
Oh, you're good, bro. I was about to say, I like it when you talk dirty, man. I like that shit.
Yeah.
I don't have as brilliant of a breakdown, but I am going to say I do like Jillian Robertson. However, I stick to my rule. Minus 200 or more better be guaranteed. I'm not betting Jillian Robinson. Why do I keep saying that? I am not betting Jillian Robertson at minus 350 ever. Like that, no. I just can't do it. I agree with Trace. It's either sub or bust. Poliana is a scrub, in my opinion. She subs scrubs and then loses to everyone else. Jillian, what she does is she subs people. She subs almost all of her wins are by sub, and she will definitely sub a scrub. Other than that, I can't do anything. I would never put my money on Viana. Usman, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, it's Jilly Bean. Yeah, she's a very very big like she grapples big, if that makes any sense. I am scared of her going for that KO because she has looked really good with the ground and pound. So I might just go inside the distance to be safe. But I feel like I know Jillian pretty damn well. I've watched her since she was in Tough. And there have been many times where Trace has called for her or against her, and I'm on the other side, and I think I'm gonna get him this time. I call Trace the Jillian Whisperer. If whatever he says, I'll probably be betting as well. So, Trace, Jillian, the Jillian Whisperer.
All right, so we have a bunch of Jillian love. Does anybody have a take for Poliana? If you do, you can speak right now.
I just had a fun fact.
My take is she has no chance.
The
Go ahead,
last
YB.
time the last time Jillian Robertson was in Canada was UFC 240 in 2019. She won by TKO. Guess where that card was? Ding ding ding, you're right, Canada. Next fight.
Well, I don't want to be Pollyanna-ish about this, but there's no way a polyamorous anorexic is going to knock out Gillian Anderson. Um, I've been informed that Gillian Anderson played Scully on X Files, and that's why she's not going to get knocked out because she's not getting in the octagon.
What the fuck is happening right now?
Sorry.
Andrew, take us on to the next one.
I'm going with Pollyanna, dude. Fuck you guys.
My man.
Hey,
That's
I
fair.
I told y'all it was Spawn who had the fucking Devin Clark profile picture with the broken teeth.
All right, yeah, we do have to move on to the next fight. We are going to the bantamweight division. I'm probably going to say his first name wrong, so I apologize. But we have Sarah City versus Ramon Tavares. City is 10-1. Tavares is 9-2. City is 3 inches taller, 5'11" to 5'8". A 2-inch reach advantage for City as well. City fights switch. Tavares fights southpaw. I'm not really going to give the stats because there have been 3 combined UFC fights between them, so it wouldn't be fair to do that. So we will go ahead and let Joe kick the odds.
Tavares is plus 150 globally. Saidi or CD, however it's said correctly, is minus 189 globally. I don't know either one of these guys. I know we're the capping space and we should have an edge on it. I just don't hear. What I do have to say is we are grown fucking men. We don't say things like sprinkle or value, boys. We say things like put some pennies on it and beat the books up or be sharper than the books. We definitely don't say things like value, boys, and sprinkles on a bet. Whoever the fuck wants to go on this one, I can't even with you guys right now.
So this is a rematch from the
I'm
Contender Series. Surrey City and Ramon Tavares fought in the Contender Series. Surrey knocked him out. It was kind of a controversial stoppage. He wasn't quite out, but he was rocked and hurt. I think this fight plays up pretty similarly. I think Surrey's just a little bit better everywhere, and I think the fight will play out pretty sim. Like I said, pretty close to the last one. It's always hard to one up a first round KO, but maybe he'll get the first round submission instead. Give me Surrey City money line minus 180. Daniel, what do you got?
I got, hold on, Tavares. I got him by TKO, latest round 2. I got him for round 1. both these guys are round one finishers. So that's pretty much it. Like this fight's not going to the judges.
Fair enough. Rob, did you have a take on this fight?
Short and sweet, man. Historically, when you look at fighters, when a dude's been finished by the dude or the fighter, girl, whatever, the fighter gets finished and has to rematch that person near or soon. The percentage is really in favor of the person who won in the first place. So that's that percentage of rematch doesn't follow the usual percentage of rematch, which favors the original winner in the first place. So there you go. Going with the Canadian on this one. Give me CD, however you say it respectfully.
All right, better close it out for us, bro.
Yeah. When I watched them the first time and I rewatched everything again, I came up with the same conclusion. Surdy is the better fighter. He proved that in the first one. It's going to be the same on this one. Uh, Probably going to end in the first round too because Tavares likes to stand and bang, and City knows how to pick his shots very well, and Tavares will be there for those shots.
Very good, man. I agree 100%. Andrew, that was a nice quick one. Let's keep it rolling.
I like it, man. I like it. We're going to move on to the featherweight division. I'm actually really excited for this fight. We have Charles Air Jourdain, the guy who likes to make funny ass jokes about sleeping with his stepsister, versus Sean the Sniper Woodson. Um, this is going to be an interesting fight. Charles Jourdain, 15-6-1. Sean Woodson. I wanted to say Charles Woodson. Shout out Charles Woodson. Sean Woodson is 10-1-1. Sean Woodson will obviously have a height advantage. He is the tallest featherweight in the division at 6'2". Charles Jourdain is 5'9". Obviously, a very long reach advantage. There is a 9-inch reach advantage for Sean Woodson. If you've ever seen him, he is skin and bones. He's like me, except he's 6'2" and not 5'10". Jourdain is a switch fighter. Sean Woodson is an orthodox fighter. Um, their stats are very similar too. Both put out a lot of output, 5.71 to 5.41 strikes landed per minute. They both take about 4 back. A striking defense is very similar to 58 to 57%. This is going to be an interesting fight. For the first time today, everyone, for the first time, we have not just one of these guys coming off of a win, but both of them are coming off of wins. I do have interest in this fight, but I will let Joe kick the odds off and we'll move from there.
Yeah, so Woodson's global average is, sorry, it's reloading every time I leave the page. It reloads when I get back. Plus 167, and Jourdain is minus 208. Odds are pretty steady across all regions, so I'm not going to dig into that. So I think Charles Jourdain is the better fighter. Um, I think he is the more skilled fighter. I think he is the more rounded fighter. I think Woodson will be big enough to take the fight to decision. I bet that, and I must cash on it 90% of the time, man. When you see reach discrepancies like this, add any height discrepancy with it, the better fighter usually just isn't big enough to get it done unless they can knock him out. I think Woodson's good at keeping the range, and I don't see him getting rocked real bad. I'm going to take this fight goes the distance, and in Usman fashion, which I think this really is Usman fashion, maybe Andrew fashion, I'm probably looking at the split. Depends on what the odds are, but I'll probably play something small on the split. I think this one goes the distance for sure. Trace?
Yeah, I didn't like the way Woodson looked on the scales. He looked very sucked out, very dried out, like he struggled very much to get that weight. At one point, they were thinking that the scale was off by 1.5 pounds because of how weird the weigh-ins were. And in that range of fighters, that was 1.5 pounds under. He was right on weight. Actually, he was a little over the limit. but or not over the limit, but over the 135 mark. So I think he struggled with the weight to make weight this fight. Yeah, I think Jordan's going to be able to hit him with something tricky and get him out of there at some point. I like Jordan pretty good in the spot. I do have Jordan KO at plus 285, and I also have a money line bet on Charles Jordan at for 2 units at minus 180. So yeah, I'm pretty much in on the Charles Jordan finisher in this fight. Rob, what do you got in this fight, man? Or actually, let me kick it back to Andrew real quick. Andrew, what do you get on this fight?
So I see a trend here coming. I feel like most of us are going to be on Jordan. I just wanted to say I am in Jordan. I do have a money line, and that's that. I'll keep it short and sweet so we can move on to other people.
Rob.
I will jump in and say that Juicy J should win in theory, but not Juicy J, Air Jordan, but they have a common opponent they've lost to, which was Juicy J Arosa. That means nothing. I just like to point that out because I like to point out the obvious and the meaningless. That's what I do. But I'm also here to point out that Sean Woodson, like, always kind of struggles to make weight. The dude is gigantic, but when he's in there, he knows how to use it. And I think he could shock some people. He could upset the script, but I'm gonna go the safe route. I think Jordan is more complete fighter, though Woodson has been evolving. Yeah, there you go. There's my take. Don't be surprised though. Like, let me just forewarn: Sean Woodson is probably gonna hurt a lot of people's feelings. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Daniel, what
Yeah,
do you
he
got?
might.
I know, I know, I know Woodson will win. Yes, he did look bad on the scale, but he'll be back. And I'm happy about this fight. As you know, snipers are really sneaky. So I have this fight, Woodson decision, unanimous, or possibly split. But no, he's the better fighter. He's only lost once in the UFC. Meanwhile, Charles Air Jordan, he's lost 5 times. Woodson is the better father. The better fighter. I know, I know, I know.
All right, let them know. Let them know. Better, what you got, bro?
I agree. Woodson is the better fighter. Look, I don't like using MMA math, but in this case, I have to. The one common opponent that they do have is Juicy J, Rosa. So here's what happened between those two fights. First off, Woodson was beating Julian Erosa that whole time until he got taken down and got caught in a submission. If that didn't happen, Woodson would have won by decision. Jourdain could not deal with the size of Erosa, and Erosa was pressuring and bringing volume. This is Woodson to the T. He knows how to box, he knows how to use his legs, and now he knows how to implement his own wrestling. And it's already hard enough to take this man down. This is the exact recipe that beats Jourdain. If you're bigger than him, know how to use your length and know how to bring the volume. He starts to struggle and doubt himself. And you saw him doubt himself at the end of the first round when that round ended with Julian Erosa. He acknowledged, like, wow, this is going to be a problem. And he never got over it. Woodson is going to win this fight by decision.
Split, bro. Split.
Solid take, brother. I appreciate it when you get on the mic. I always love when we have an argument for both sides, man. It always makes it more fun for to see how it plays out. Usman, what you got?
Beautiful breakdown by Better Times, and that's exactly why I'm going Charles Jourdain by submission. Um, no, it's true. I mean, y'all said it. Woodson has the better striking. He knows how to use his reach advantage and whatnot. Charles Jourdain is a little hard headed and likes to scrap a little bit. And I think he's really going to try and be smart and say, fuck, I need to take it to the ground or I need to make. Woodson shoot a takedown, because Woodson will, like, once it gets tight in close, he has some really nice little uppercuts. He'll throw that knee in there, but he will also just feint at the hips to get you to back up off of him. And when he does that, big old long limbs, let me get a submission. It's somewhere in there.
All right, we got no other takes on this fight. We'll move on to the next. Uh, Andrew, picking up some steam. Let's keep it rolling.
Bantamweight division. Let's go. We have Brad Katona taking on Garrett Armfield. This is a fight, guys. This is a fight. Brad Katona is on his second stint with the UFC. He has won the Ultimate Fighter twice, so that is quite an accomplishment. Brad Katona is 15-2. Garrett Armfield is 9-3. Brad Katona goes the distance every single time. He averages 15 minutes of fight time. Garrett Armfield does not go to decision, at least in the UFC so far. They are both 5'6". Big 6-inch reach advantage for Garrett Armfield, though. Both of them are orthodox as well. There's no point in going into stats, honestly, because Brad Katona has had two different stints with like a long span, and then Garrett Armfield has only had two fights. However, both of them, again, we're trending in a positive direction now, guys. Both of these guys are coming off of wins, so now someone has to lose. This is actually kind of cool. Joe, go ahead, bro.
All right, so global odds, global averages on Brad Katona are. Oh man, I scrolled shit. God damn it, I don't know.
Brad Katona's averages are
Mine too.
horrendous.
Yeah, no, he's 913, and Garrett Armfield plus 172. Um, I'll be honest, man. Brad Katona probably grinds this thing out by decision. And I fucking hate him for it. I'm one of those people that he talks show that just absolutely hates him. How he's like, nobody wants me here, nobody likes me. I don't know why everybody in life hates me because you fucking suck, Brad. That's why. I'm really hoping
Dude.
he does. He fucking sucks, and I hope he hears this. But anyways, I do think Garrett's got a chance for a knockout. I think if he can clip him, I think he can hurt him, and I will probably drop some pennies on the Garrett Armfield knockout, and I will play the over. I won't play the distance because I'm hoping for the knockout, so I'll probably play the over.
Yeah, man. I don't agree, man. This is a easy Brad Katona via decision bet and an easy over 2.5 bet, man. Brad Katona is he's a man made of steel, man. You can't hurt the guy. He's tough as nails, hard to put away, but he's not a finisher. I feel like the over, which I got the decision, Brad Katona via decision at plus 115. And then I got the over 2.5 somewhere. I'll have to get back. Uh, the over 2.5 minus 172. I got it for 2 units. Pretty confident in that bet, man. Katona's hard to put away, and like I said, he's not much of a finisher himself. So I feel like Armfield's pretty safe to make it the distance himself. So I feel like this is one of the good props that Uzum might have in his over under props later on.
I
Speaking
did.
of.
I did agree with you. I did say bet the over, and I'm only not taking the decision because I'm hoping. This is the anti Brad Katana fan in me, just hoping he gets fucking knocked out. And I'm not going to miss the chance to say, oh, I bet that shit. I knew he was going down. I'm not going to miss that fucking chance, even if it's a lie when I say it. As long as the bet was placed, I can't miss my chance, Trace.
Who did he fight in the finale, man? We had him on here for an interview, and I'm blanking on his name right
Cody
now.
Gibson.
Cody Gibson.
Cody Gibson.
Six gun.
If he fights anybody like he fought Cody Gibson, that dude is going to be a fucking problem
He is a
because
problem, bro.
the
That's
output, the output, and the damage he can take and just keep on ticking. That dude is tough as fucking nails.
Bro, that was not a mistake. Even his first run in the UFC, I can't remember exactly who it was, but he lost to like two
two badass fights, like Marab and then someone else. I think that wasn't that.
Hunter Azor.
Yeah, but bro, I mean, it's not like they released him because nobody fucking likes him. He only had 2 losses. Nobody fucking likes him. That's why.
Yeah, that's
Because we
that's
want to see
absolutely correct.
someone that wants to go in there and fucking win, not go to a decision and hump somebody's fucking leg and get punched in
Well,
the face.
there you go, Spawn. Here's the things. The thing about Brad Katona is everything about him really just turns to neutrality, and neutrality is hard to support. Because here's the deal, right? He's boring as shit. We all agree, but he wins. He's the living, breathing counter to the argument. Winning is enough. Winning isn't enough. Brad Katana is that. He's a winner, but it's not enough. I was very impressed by him in this second run of Tough because while I was watching it, whatever. I was with my ex at the time, and during the conversation, I said, "Hey." Because she called him out for being a little bit of a dick during the show, not wanting to train with everybody, kind of doing his own sauce. And I said, "Yo, hey, we just got to see this. If he wins, he's right. He's not a dick." And here he is. He's in the game because he's smart. He may be a little bit boring, but he knows how to win. Like, I don't, I'm still learning what you fellas prioritize in the gambling department, but I gotta figure you gotta value a fucking strategic winner who has the physical skills to back up his mental game plan. Last but not least, for all that it's worth, he kind of pisses off Dana White, man. And you gotta love a guy who pisses off Dana White and earns the job position, painfully as it may be on RTV and just kind of just stick it to the man. There you go. Those are my reasons why I'm supporting Brad Katana in this fight.
Solid list of reasons. Better. You've had your hand up for a while, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of mad at myself that I didn't bet on Bragatona just to win. I picked the over, but I still think it's a solid bet. But look, I I fucking love Katona. I loved him when when he first made his debut because I could just see how good he was, and I was mad that they released him. And then the competition he faced outside the UFC were top level. And then he fought Timur Valiev, who I consider one of the best strikers, and he just toughed that out and grinded him to a decision. Same thing with Cody Gibson. The only issue that I would see is probably the boxing of Garrett Armfield. Like he could clip him a couple times, and all it takes is a perfect punch to get knocked out. But Katona seems to be able to take punishment and pick his shots. And when he picks his shots, he makes them count, and it's like pretty much over from there. Once he gets into a flow state, it's hard to stop that man.
Always a good take, man.
You
Always a
mean
good take, man. I
it's
appreciate it.
you mean it's hard
Spawn,
for him to get a stoppage?
Are you related to our boy Rhino? You remind me of him a little bit. Daniel, what you got, bro?
I've always been a fan of Brad Katona. I mean, the first Ultra Fire he won, he was on Team Cormier. I'll always go for my home state guys. However, in this fight, you never bet against family. I go with Garrett, Team Killcliff, KO round 1. And just so you know, even the real Superman has been defeated.
Take it back, man. That Batman movie was fake.
Oh, I
All
didn't say
right, guys.
movie. I'm talking about the comics. The comic and
Not
Ken.
canon.
All right, Andrew, move us on to this next fight before we start talking about anime and stuff.
Let's go to the featherweight division, boys. This is main card time too, so I'm sure everyone's gonna have some good takes on these fights. Starting off with a
Actually,
banger, man.
Andrew or Usman, where can they find all these interesting stats that we use for our show?
CapMMA.com. That's the website that we use that Joe has been making. A link to over 30 books. We got global odds, regional odds, odds for all kinds of stuff, all kinds of fighters. We got stats up there. You heard Joe working on his own stat board. You've got links to websites to help you watch tape if you're not subscribed to ESPN Plus or Fight Pass. A couple of notes up there. So, capmma.com.
Some people would try to charge you, but that website is completely free, ready for you. Just go ahead and check it out.
Let me tell you something, boys. It's not often that somebody can pull off a flawless pass off on the mic while they're eating their food, but Usman pulled it off better than most, man. Salute to the man. Uh, I could barely tell you had food in your mouth, bud.
It's
Andrew, what
funny
we
because
got
you
for?
always catch me mid bite, and it's fucking annoying.
That's because you always fucking eating, bro.
Full of fucking bread, man. Jesus Christ. Kick off
Oh
the next
man.
fight. As for
All
the
right,
last one,
Andrew.
Brad Katona over and submission to make it sexy. Get out of here.
Let's
Hey,
go to the
Usman,
featherweight
what you
division.
eating, bro?
Who?
Mongolian grill food.
Oh, baby, talk dirty to me. All right, Andrew, kick it off before I go in the kitchen.
Main card featherweight bout time. Arnold Allen versus Movsar Evloev. This is this might be a low key banger. We'll see. Arnold Allen is 19-2. Movsar is undefeated 17-0. 5'8" to 5'7" for height. 2-inch reach advantage for Evloev 72 to 70. These are my favorite matchups because Movsar fights orthodox and Arnold Allen is a southpaw. I love that shit. If we go to the stats, Mosar is averaging 4.57 strikes landed per minute. Arnold Allen 3.34. They do fight at different paces. Strikes absorbed per minute, they're very similar, just under 3. Identical takedown defense, or I'm sorry, striking defense at 61%. We go to the grappling division. That's obviously Mosar's department. He averages 4.71 takedowns per 15 minutes. Arnold Allen averages about 1. They both average 50% takedown accuracy and both about 70 to 75% takedown defense. Arnold Allen is coming off of a loss to Max Holloway. Movsar is coming off of a very exciting and solidifying win against Lopez. So we will go ahead and let Joe start this one off with the odds.
Global average is coming in from 34 books. Mozart is minus 196. Arnold Allen is plus 157. I'm a guy that is typically high on Arnold Allen after his last performance. Obviously, it's hard to back him. I would like to back him again here. I just don't see how he escapes the grappling of Evolov. I don't see how he prevents it. Even if he can prevent the actual takedown, I don't know how he stays off the cage. I hope he can do it. I just haven't seen him do it to the level that I think he's going to need to be able to do it. So I will not bet him. Not saying that I'm going to bet Mozart Evolov either. I may tomorrow morning when the time comes, but as of right now, I'm probably going to skip this fight. Trace.
Yeah, like I said to at the beginning of the night, this is probably one of the fights that I find the most interesting. Can Arnold Allen defend the takedowns? I think the fight. I think on the feet, it should be a lean to Arnold Allen, but Mozart should be able to keep up with him and at least hold his own enough to set up takedowns and set up entries. It more or less is going to boil down to whether Arnold Allen can stop the takedowns, or if when he does get takedown, can he get back up? Um, Mozart's not the most active guy on the ground. He's not the most ground and pound heavy guy, but he can rack up some control time, or just control time, whether it's in the grappling or a clinch or whether it's a takedown. Um, the finishing side is definitely with uh, Arnold Allen in this fight for sure. I did take a 2 unit bet on Mobstar. I don't have the lineup in front of me, but I'll get it to y'all in a second. Um, I feel like he should be able to go out there and use the wrestling enough to dictate how the fight goes, and then have Arnold worried about the grappling enough to be able to land the combos when he needs to set up the combos, to set up the takedowns from being worried about the takedown. So yeah, I got him at minus 180 for 2 units. So I feel pretty confident in that bet. Very intriguing fight though. I wouldn't be surprised if Arnold comes out here and wins, but he's going to have to prove it to me first. It's been a long time since he's fought a legit wrestler. Rob, what do you got, man?
My man. First, we are at the main card, like you astutely pointed out earlier. I just want to say at this time, I want to point out everyone who's in this room. I see so many familiar faces. Thanks to everybody who supported my spaces, watch along parties that I've been doing for over 2 years. So like a long ass time here on X. Thank you guys for supporting it. I'm continue doing it until some other things land, some other stuff happen. But my space last year, not bragging, I've given away over $1,000 in autographed memorabilia for just playing around, free. Just making picks like you guys do here. Over 35 UFC and MMA pro level athletes in the room. Like it's really not possible with all you guys and all your support. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Andrew, specifically, man, and for supporting for such a long time. And Joe, both you guys, man. I wish I could hug you through the thing. With that all being said, I think there's a phenomenon in the UFC, and the phenomenon is losing to Max Holloway and then becoming the best version of yourself. And I think there's enough evidence out there to support my case. I'm not going to go deep into it. I think we might see an Arnold Allen that is more dangerous than ever. Mozart, definitely dangerous. Nothing going against him. Anybody who's picking for him, good for you. It's probable that the wrestling will take effect, but man, I I fear for him, and I think he's gonna. I think he could lose. Like honestly, Allen is one of the top underdogs of the night. I think his threat level to upset people is slightly under Sean Woodson's. I know I was hyping up Woodson just a bit ago. This guy is probably gonna hurt some feelings too. I'm just leaving it at that. The best version of Arnold Allen is gonna happen tomorrow night.
Fair enough. We will see, man. Connor J, get on the mic, bro.
Yeah, I like this fight. I'm probably picking Arnold Allen. I think he's a bit more, just a bit more well-rounded, and I think he did, fairly well against Max. Max is a really great fighter, but Max just kind of outclassed him uh, as the fight went on.
Hey, say
I
that
do
again
think that
for
the
Joe
take.
really quick.
What's up?
Say that again for Joe really quick, please.
Yeah, no, I think Max is an all-time great fighter. I think he's one of the best fighters to ever grace the octagon. Certified Hall of Famer. Yeah, all that stuff. But I think the
Wait, Connor,
takedown
can you say that
defense
one more
for Arnold
time
Allen.
just so I can hear it?
I don't know if I'm being set up or not. Yeah, Max is just like a great fighter. All time great
Thank
champion.
you.
Yeah.
Based
I
on
think
fucking what? On fucking what?
Okay,
I knew
okay.
exactly how to get
Let
Joe
the
going,
man
bro.
let the man make his point. Let the man make his point. Go ahead, Connor.
um I just think that the Arnold Allen's takedown defense is kind of skewed or maybe like misleading. I saw a stat where they said within his like past 4 or 5 fights, he's only been someone's attempted to take him down one time, and that was Sadiq Yusuf, and nobody else has even attempted to take him down. So I think he does have good takedown defense, but he's not fighting guys that are actually trying to. And Evloev is definitely going to test that. And I was watching Arnold Allen fight. I think it was Matt Burnell, and he got taken down like 3 times in that fight. And I think Burnell was like a pretty good fighter, and Arnold ended up like submitting him, so he won the fight. But the takedown and the grappling exchanges is going to be a big key component to this fight. But overall, I think Arnold was just the overall more well-rounded fighter, so I'm probably going to pick him.
Solid breakdown, brother. Solid breakdown. Cade, go ahead.
How's everyone doing tonight?
Good, brother.
Well,
Good. How are you?
thanks.
So I just wanted to start it off by saying Max Holloway is an all-time great, but Arnold Allen versus Movsar, I forget how to say his name. That's an interesting fight, bro. I think the wrestling is gonna take over, and that's ultimately gonna be how the fight goes. But it's kind of hard to count Arnold Allen out though, because man, he's got some heavy hands. Even when he did fight Max, like some of the shots he landed were, I mean, not everybody's taking those shots. I mean, he does have heavy hands for his weight class, and I think Mosar can get clipped. So I think obviously it's pretty obvious it goes one way or the other. I think if Arnold Allen wins the fight, it's because he knocks him out. But I just see like one of those grinding performances where he just continuously looks for the takedown, even if Arnold keeps getting up, type of fight. But yeah, that's what I think about the fight.
Better. You've had your hand up for a while.
Yeah, I got Evloev too. He's part of my best bet parlay. I will be worried early though because I one thing I love about Allen, what he does early is what's going to be a danger to Evloev. Arnold Allen has really good defensive footwork, and he pulls his opponents into his shots, especially that left hook. It's very fast, very accurate, very hard to see coming. And Evloev, for some reason, I do not understand why he does like later on he gets into the groove. He's hard to stop. But early on, it's like he just wants to be able to touch his opponents. So he doesn't use feints, he doesn't use angles. He just goes straight forward and tries to throw a shot, which is going to be perfect for Allen to hit him. And we all saw that when he fought Lopes, and Lopes was able to rock him. Like it's just a recipe for a disaster. But once he gets going, it's just going to be a problem. He knows how to use his angles. He knows how to use feints. He's very fast at being getting in and out and moving his head. So it's not just the wrestling that Arnold Allen has to worry about because Allen's good at defensive wrestling against the cage. He will be taken down in the open area. And the striking is also going to be a problem because Evua is the better striker, in my opinion. Allen knows how to strike with the left hook, but it's mainly hooks. It's not really straight shots. Evloev knows how to throw fast, straight shots, ducks under, and moves off at an angle. He's going to be very hard to hit, and Evloev, it's just going to be all Evloev. In the striking and in the wrestling, Allen is going to be in trouble. The only way I see him winning is if he touches them early, and he has a very good chance of that because of how Evil works very early in the fight.
Uzman, sorry, I had to get Rob back on the mic. Go ahead, Uzman.
Yeah, y'all don't need to pick a side on this fight, guys. I hate Evloev with all of my being. Um, but you got to be grateful when somebody gives you free bet and free money. And Evloev has consistently shown that if you bet his overs, you are going to make money. So let's hope he doesn't fuck us over here. But Arnold Allen is pretty damn good too. So over all day. Parlay piece over.
Benny.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How's it going tonight? Yeah, I got Evil Love. Simple reason, and the best thing of all, I think he's gonna control Arnold Allen. Arnold Allen is gonna want to box with him. Evil Love is too good on takedowns. I don't think Arnold Allen is gonna be able to stop him on that. I think he's just gonna drag him all over the, all over the ring or whatever you want to call the arena. I don't think he's gonna finish him. I just think he's gonna control him. He's gonna manhandle him. I if Arnold takes it, um, if he's gonna win in the first round. I mean, that's the only way I see him. That's his only way to path of victory I see. But I got Evil Love just controlling him all the way through. I would take the over exactly, or I will take fight goes to decision.
Fair enough. Daniel.
Arnold Allen is not the more well-rounded fighter. Mozart Ilov actually won a title and defended it. He is a former champ. Arnold Allen is not. Arnold lost in the UFC. Mozart did not. ATT all the way. Mozart, unanimous decision, 30-27.
You heard it here first, folks. Connor, what you got?
Just like to touch on two things. One that Daniel just said. Mozart has not lost in the UFC, but he also hasn't fought the competition that Arnold has. So, I mean, who's to say that he's not going to lose to, Arnold when he steps up in competition, like when Arnold did when he lost to Max, And touch on what Kate said with Arnold's power. I remember, like, in the last, 5 seconds of him in his Max fight, when he was just going for broke, trying to knock Max out. And I think he hit him with, either a short left hook or an elbow. And Arnold does have power, and Max just ate it. And then he actually went on to knock Arnold down right after that, which just shows you how great Max is and his legendary chin and just a legendary fighter. Great wins, great champion, all that.
All right, Andrew, close this fight out for us, man. Let's go on to the next one.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. We're going to the middleweight division. I'm pumped for this fight. I have a little bit of bias for this one, which doesn't happen very often. So we have the action man, Chris Curtis, against the Canadian Marc-Andre Barriault. Both veterans in this game. Chris Curtis is 30-10 with a no contest. Marc-Andre Barriault is 16-6 with a no contest. Both average similar fight time. Marc-Andre is a little bit taller, 6'1" to 5'10". However, Chris Curtis has a 1-inch reach advantage. Both fight orthodox. Fairly similar stats as well. Strikes landed per minute, 5.36 to 5.95. Chris Curtis takes a little bit more back, 6.3 versus 5.2. Takedown defense, or I'm sorry, why do I always say that shit? Striking defense is very similar, 54 to 53. I'm not going to read the grappling stats because it doesn't matter, because this fight isn't going to be a grappling affair. It is going to be a striking affair. Neither one really grapples. However, Chris Curtis has baller 92% takedown defense. Mark is coming off of a 2-fight win streak. And Chris Curtis is coming off of a no contest. I do have a take on this fight. However, I would like Joe to kick the odds off.
All right, so global averages on this fight are reporting from 33 different books. Mark Andre is going off at plus 152, and Chris Curtis is going off at minus 189. Let's see here. So, sorry, man. Sorry, I was trying to finish eating something. Anyways, this is not a fight that I'm heavy on. I think Chris Curtis is a little overrated, if I'm being honest. Maybe not a little, but I think Chris Curtis is overrated. Even seeing him at favorite money against anybody is just hard for me to want to bet him. It would have to be something where I see super glaring weakness. Problem is, Chris Curtis gets hit a lot, just like Marc Andre does. There's no real edge. There's no real striking um, defense or offensive edge. Chris Curtis has a much nicer overhand if he can land it. Yeah, this is a dog or pass for me. I'm not actually betting it, but if I were, this is definitely dog or pass for me.
Andrew.
Yeah, bro, we're rolling with the action man on this one. I do have a money line. I also have him in a parlay. I just feel like this is a Chris Curtis fight, man. He clearly he can be put on his back foot. He reminds me a lot of Marlon Chito Vera in the sense that it looks like he takes a lot of punishment and the stats show it. However, he doesn't really get hurt very often, I fucking hate to say it, but Kelvin put a pretty bad beating on him. And Nasruddin Imavov was on the way to win. But Marc-Andre Barriault is not those guys. He does Marc Andre Barrialt has a lot of fucking output, and he puts a lot of punches out. He's got a little bit of power there too. But Chris Curtis doesn't get knocked out. Chris Curtis is also a great counter puncher. So how I imagine this fight going is Mark is gonna fucking bully forward, and that chin is gonna be tested, and I think Chris is gonna put him out eventually. If not, he's gonna have the more effective strikes throughout the fight, and I think that's gonna win the fight.
Fair enough, man. For me, I'm on Chris Curtis. I think he's gonna be the bigger moment winner versus the bigger minute winner and Marc Andre Barrialt. But I do think he'll have enough moments in the fight to where he should be able to get the nod from the judges. I don't have too much on this fight, but yeah, I'll take Chris Curtis for myself. Usman, what do you got?
Plus 6,600 draw. That's what I got. Moments versus minutes. Give me Marc Andre Barriol to win more minutes. Um, what's it called? Chris Curtis to win some moments and make it spicy. Maybe get a drop or two. And then a big bad headbutt because both of these guys like to move forward with their face. So give me the draw.
How dare you wish that on a Chris Curtis fight, dude?
He does it to
Yeah,
himself, man. Somebody
bad
brought up the
juju.
Kelvin Gastelum head, but fucking, he does it to himself. It's always in a Chris Curtis fight. No
Kelvin Gastelum
surprise.
flew across the fucking octagon, leaped off the ground, traveled 15 feet cubically, and landed that headbutt like a prime young baby male ram. You can't be a male and a baby, but same thing. You know what I'm saying?
No,
That was crazy.
you're completely misremembering that. That was in the pocket. Chris Curtis was coming up with his head while Kelvin was already in the pocket throwing, and Curtis was the one that headbutted
I
Kelvin.
remember the commission saying there was a missed call. That's what I remember. So
Hey, it's hard not to hit a big old Mexican head from Kevin Gastelum, but same thing happened in the Nasruddin Imavov fight, didn't it? Give me the draw.
Chris Curtis is on the verge of his 40th fight professionally. Look up his record. How many head clashes does he have? It's not a symptom of his fighting style. Anyways, yeah, I'm biased for Chris Curtis. Yeah, me and Andrew are biased for Chris Curtis. Like, yeah, like what can I say? He's from Vegas. Been on my show multiple times. I also like where he's at mentally for this fight. He's locked in. He got off of social media, put the blinders on. I actually had the opportunity to talk to him accidentally at a fucking farmer's market here in Las Vegas recently. And he expressed to me in a positive way that he's worried about his job. And he's done a lot, a lot of fighting. He's gone the long road to get to the UFC. And he doesn't want to get cut. So I like a guy who is there to fight, there to win, and has a sense of desperation. That's why I'm going with Chris Curtis.
That was beautiful, bro.
Love you, bro.
Let's go with better times.
Okay, so I think the book has been written on how to beat Chris Curtis, and I believe we're all surprised that Jack Hermanson was the one that showed us how to do it. You stick and move, and when you go in with combos, and you just get ahead on points. That is really the only way to beat this man. And you gotta keep moving, move, because he will find you if you're not constantly moving. Kelvin Gastelum followed up and beat him. Joaquin Buckley was doing it until he got caught, which is why you got to keep moving. That is not Marc Andre Barriou's style. It's a crash forward style. And when Barriou strikes, it's not as clean as Curtis's. He is open for counters, and his striking defensive guard is not good enough for Chris Curtis either, because Chris Curtis can work around that guard. Along with that, Curtis's defense, I don't think enough gets made about how good Chris is good at defending strikes. not just with his striking guard, but with rolling with punches. I think his rolling with punches is just as good as Bobby Green's, but not many people acknowledge that. This is a perfect style matchup for Chris Curtis, and he will win.
Fuck yeah, man. I love it. Let's go. Let's go with Young Boy.
So, first of all, Chris is a fucking geek. Fuck that dude. Um, I think he's gonna win 100%. This fight is basically like it's just perfect for him, right? MAV's got a 2 fight win streak, cool, but this is just it's a really good matchup for Chris. I think he's gonna win. He does seem like he's focused lately. I heard him in the press conference. He's got his shit going on, you know what I'm saying? And then you've got him in the 185 division now. It's his class. I don't even like the guy, and I've got to take him. I was on MAV beginning of the week, but yeah, I switched over. He's a fucking geek, though.
Let's go, bro. We're gonna go to Daniel because I know he's gonna fade all of us like he usually does. So he's gonna give his take on Marc Andre Barrial. Go ahead, Daniel.
You're correct, sir. These two guys they're both sides of the same coin. They're both multiple time former champs from other organizations. However, Kurt Chris Curtis is a little odd to me. Like due to the fact that like I heard that he's only used just to spar Strickland. I don't know if that's a rumor or not, but let's just face the fact he lost his last fight while Mark Andre won both. He's won two fights in a row. This fight's not going to the judges. It's going to be finished in the standing. And you know I don't go against family. Never bet against family. I got Mark Andre KO TKO round 1.
Never does, never does. Usman, what do you got?
The only thing I'm taking from this breakdown for this fight is Rob said that Chris Curtis is scared to lose his job, and the UFC made him fight on a 2-loss streak in Canada against a Canadian. Fuck Chris Curtis. We're fading his ass.
They took our jobs.
Benny, what do you got?
All right, guys. So here's my take on these Canadians. I always fade them, but being that it's in Canada this week, I will not be fading any Canadians except except for this guy that we're talking about, John Barral, whatever his name is. I got Action Man all the way through, knocking his eyes out. Everybody, all the other Canadians, I'm taking them all with me, but this one I'm leaving behind. He's the Barley Buster for the Canadian Barley. That's all I got, guys.
Andrew, what we got next?
We have the welterweight bout feature. We have the Haitian sensation Neil Magny, veteran, versus proper Mike Malott, the hometown hero. Neil Magny is a veteran in this game. He is 28-12. Mike Malott is 10-1-1. Neil Magny has a 2-inch height advantage, 6'3" to 6'1", a 7-inch reach advantage. However, 80-inch reach versus 73. Both are orthodox. Stats are a little bit different. Strikes landed per minute, 3.45 for Neil, 4.21 for Mike. Strikes absorbed per minute, 2.4 for Neil, and 3.07 for Mike. The grappling department obviously favors Mike Malott. No sense in going over stats there. Malott is coming off of a 4-fight win streak, and Neil Magny is coming off of a recent loss to Ian Gary. I will let Joe go with the crazy ass odds, and then Trace will kick that shit off.
Global averages coming in from over, let's see, from 31 books here. Mike Mallet has a global average of -1.
or minus 370. Sorry, I was stuttering there. I would have figured so. He's being he's got the worst odds in the UK on averages. I would have figured US books because I assume Canada can access a lot of our books, and man, I just assumed it would be different here. Neil Magny is plus 283. I'll give my quick take on this one. The best odds you can find on Mike Mallet are minus 333 right now. It's I think it's free money. Mallet KO, fight goes the distance. No, um, yeah, this is the writing is on the wall. No tape needed. I have seen enough Neil Magny and enough Mike Mallet to know what's going to happen here. So I will be betting Mike Mallett's money line. I will be betting Mike Mallet inside the distance. I will be betting the under.
So I agree that Mike Malott should be the better, more explosive fighter in the first round. No, Manny certainly has lost a few steps over the last few years. He's been through a lot of fights, a lot of wars. Uh, Mostly a decision fighter throughout his UFC career. Lot of ring time put in, but there's still some questions about Mike Malott. Can is the cardio there? Can he go that long? What does his chin look like? What happens when he gets put in bad situations? I do think he should win this fight tomorrow night, but I just think he's a little bit too wide of a favorite. I think while he should be the favorite, he's unbettable as far as the money line for at what he is. Um, I actually my only bet that I took on this fight was a couple of dropped a few coins, as Joe likes to say, on the a couple of finish props for No Magny. Don't expect these to hit, but the line for what they are is just way too fucking wide, especially if Mike Malott does have cardio issues. So I put a quarter of a unit on No Magny round two submission at plus 5,000, and then a round three submission at plus 6,000. Line's way too wide. Like I said, Magny's not historically while he does have more wins by knockout than he does by submission. He is historically more of a decision fighter. So I think even with a tired Milan, he may not be able to get the knockout. I think the kid's still tough. The kid's been, got kind of got that action hero mentality. I think he's tough. I think he'll be hard to put away. But I think in in the scramble of trying to get away from being no Magny being on top of him, he gives up the back and gets choked. There's a possibility of it. Probably not the most likely outcome. He probably gets starched early on in the fight, but yeah, I'll take a shot when the lines that when the line is that wide on a round two, round three submission. So yeah, I think
That
my life.
shit's outrageous, bro. 3-1 for him. No, dude, crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll take a dog shot on Neil Magny. But if you're playing Mike Malott inside the distance, I don't blame you. Rob, what do you got?
All right, man. I hate to say it, but Neil Magny's at that point of the career where his name is getting sold. His name's getting sold for the warrior he was and for the name recognition he has. It's the life cycle of a high level fighter. But also, don't forget the UFC is in the entertainment era. Look at the card. Mike Malott is the highest Canadian on the card. They put him in a spot to win. They've stacked this card for Canada. It's been a long time for Canada. Peace and love for Canada. I know it's been a long time. You guys totally deserve this. But with that being said, they're gonna end this show on a high note with probably Neil Magny getting finished or at least just losing clearly. Like, look at Neil Magny's recent activity. Like, even his wins are split decisions. Like, the man, like I said, is unfortunately clearly past his time. They sold his name against Ian Gary, and they're doing it again here with Malott. So the stage is set. Everything. I mean, literally, Malott would have to shit the bed. I mean, it's going to him. There you go.
Connor.
Yeah, I agree with pretty much everything Rob said. Um, Mike's finished all of his fights in the UFC, and Neil hasn't looked great as of late. But I do think that Neil is still at least a good enough test for fighters like Mike Malott, where Mike's not like a top, 10 fighter. So Neil could probably still test him in certain ways. Neil has always been sort of a gatekeeper, where if you get past him, you're a pretty legit fighter. And even though Neil's not in the best stage of his career, I still think that he'll pose, some decent problems for Mike. But I do think Mike will get past him, either with a finish or cruise to a pretty easy decision.
Better.
If this was the Neil Magny just 2 years ago, well, like 3 years ago in 2021, where he had a good fight against Jeff Neal, I'd probably say the value's on Neil Magny. But since then, you it's been pretty obvious. Like he doesn't respond to damage well, and it's like back and forth against the fighters that he used to just shut out. So I think this is a clear like victory for Mike Malott. He is the power puncher, and I don't think Magny's going to respond well to that. And the grappling is there's just such a big difference between the two. I think the clear path to victory is just for him to wrestle him, but I think he can rock him on the feet just enough to keep Magny honest.
All right, Daniel, close it out for us.
Mallet may be a former champ, but Neil Magny has broken records in UFC more than Mallet can even ever imagine. Look, maybe he will retire, but I bet Magny one more time, unanimous decision. And plus, mind y'all, he's coming into the new year with a chip on his shoulder. He lost to Ian Gary, who was a bad person and a horrible father. I mean, he in his mind he was like, I lost to a guy who can't even run his household. That is a disgrace. I'm a disgrace. So he's been trained hard. So I guarantee you, he will bring all that anger from Ian Gary and win this fight because he's a better father than Ian Gary will ever be.
All right, on that note, we'll close that fight out and move on to the co-main event of the evening. Andrew, what you got first for tell of the tape?
Man, this is an interesting matchup for the Bantamweight Championship. We have Raquel Pennington versus Myra Bueno Silva. Raquel Pennington is 15-9. Myra is 10-2-1 with a no contest. Her recent one against Holly Holm. Pretty similar in height, 5'7" to 5'6". Similar reach, 67 to 66. Both fight orthodox. Let's see, if we go to the stats, strikes landed per minute, 4.02 for Raquel, 4.1 for Myra. They both have similar striking accuracy, both around 50 to 55%. Myra takes a little bit more damage, though. She averages 4.7 strikes absorbed. Raquel only takes 3.3 back. Striking defense, 62% to 57%. We go to the grappling. Have about one takedown per 15 minutes average for Raquel. Myra about 0.35. Takedown accuracy, both fairly low for both. Takedown defense, both fairly low for both. Rocky is coming off of a 5-fight win streak, though. So this should be an interesting fight. We will go ahead and let Joe kick it off with the odds.
I was fucking slow on that one. Reporting from 34 books. Raquel Pennington is plus 137. Myra Bueno Silva is minus 169. I have no take on this fight. I do not understand how Raquel Pennington gets it done. Um, so, and I'm not betting it. So skip me.
So that's why I'm betting Myra Bueno Silva, because I don't see a way that Rocky gets it done. I mean, she's tough. She's very tough, but I don't see it. I feel like the writing's on the wall. They want Myra up there.
So this thought was kind of hard for me to choose a side on, man. For simple reasons. There's a lot of questions around Myra Buena Silva's cardio. She's not the better minute winner here. The better minute winner is definitely Raquel Pennington. It may not be a pretty fight, but outside of the bigger moments, she will be the one winning the fights. I do think Myra will have the bigger moments at times. The bigger shots are the seemingly more damaging shots at times, and then obviously she's the bigger threat for a submission. But the biggest takeaway for this fight is 5 rounds. We do know that Raquel can do the 5 rounds. And honestly, I took a sprinkle Joe, a fucking sprinkle Joe. Can I get a sprinkle Joe? Repeat sprinkle Joe.
You pissed on it? Are you telling me you pissed on it?
I spritzed, as Chris Liebman would say, I spritzed on it. Uh, on the Raquel Pennington KO probably at plus 1400. Unproven cardio. Um, could see her put them hands on her for a little bit in the third, fourth, or fifth round on the tired more Myra Buena Silva. Wide line, I'll take a shot on it. So yeah, I do. I think
You said that was the sub?
that was the KO.
KO for Raquel. You know what? I'll be honest, and I'm writing this down as a trace, and I'm not going to be bitching if you don't hit it, but I got to play something with it. Hit the Jim Miller one last week, and I knew that sounded right when you said it, and you sound pretty good about that one. And I do think Myra Bueno Silva sucks. I have no idea how these two are fighting for this title. Like, it's the most ridiculous fucking thing I've ever seen. But whatever,
Like
whatever.
I wouldn't be surprised if Raquel carried her a few rounds to the fifth round, and it doesn't happen. But I just think Myra's like she was losing against Holly Holm. I thought she was. I thought Holly was having the bigger fight. I thought the fight was definitely about to start going downhill for Myra because she already started looking tired. She was looking tired before snatching up that guillotine. I think this fight's very similar to that fight. Obviously not as good of a kicker as Holly Holm is, but she works the body better than most women do. I do think she could beat her up to the head, and then if she's not having a lot of success with the head, I think she goes to the body. She goes to the body nice. Um, yeah, I think Raquel has a way to win this fight. She has times on her side. Honestly, the longer this fight goes, the less chance Myra has of winning, unless she's just already pocketed like two or three the first 3 rounds, which I don't see it happen. I think it's gonna be a close fight at the beginning, and then Rocky slowly taking away at the end, possibly getting a late finish. So yeah, at plus 1400, I put ended up being close to a unit on it actually. So yeah, give me Rocky, man. Give me the better minute winner. Always bet on cardio, boys. Uh, I see D Baby in here, so I know he about to refresh his ass soon. But Usman, take this fight.
Yeah, Myra Bueno Silva, all damn day. Don't overthink it. It's simple. You want a little stat for your ass. I
This
know
man
I
also
shared
has
it.
an unexplainable crush for Myra Buena Silva. It doesn't make sense. Very.
I shared it to y'all in the group if y'all are in the group. Um, Amanda Nunes is the only woman to win a championship fight at 35 or older. Women 35 or older in championship fights are 1-11-1. The draw was Shevchenko this past fall. Yeah, Rocky Pennington, she's been here for such a long time. She's fought every single fighter that they've been able to put in front of her. They don't want her to win the belt. She's here because she has the longest win streak in the division with five wins, and they're giving her another girl. Joe says she sucks, but
Before
she
you go ahead, sorry, I'm sorry, Usman.
no. I mean, I was gonna say she has three of her last four wins. She's undefeated in this division. Three of her last four wins are by finish. Something deep down in me is scared that I'm gonna be betting Mara Buena by submission. and somehow she's gonna shock everybody and win a decision in this fight. I'm on Myra Buenosova.
Before passing it off to Rob, I just want to say something to you. I agree with you that most champions are over 35 don't win the belt. I don't really consider this a championship caliber fight. It may be for a belt, but these two aren't the best women in the world in that weight class. This is a low level, high level fight. If that makes any sense, like
Who are the other two that deserve to be here? I mean, I love Juliana Pena,
honestly,
but
honestly, the division.
she doesn't. She's hurt. Like these are the two most deserved winners in this division right now.
I feel like the division is very stagnant. We've seen like Amanda Nunes has beaten that weight class silly, and there's been no new face for a long time. Honestly, the only thing saving that weight class from Jermaine Durandamy is time. She's old. Like if Jermaine Durandamy was 3 or 4 years old younger, and hell, she still might do it. I took out a future bet on her to be the champion at 2024 because that division is so stagnant, and she hits so goddamn hard for a woman. I'll take a shot on her. I think they're very lucky that Jermaine's decided to have a baby that took her out of the UFC for a few years. Because with Amanda gone, I don't really see anybody else being able to beat her in that division.
Bro, I was just getting ready to make a joke about Raquel Pennington today, saying that she deserves it because you guys know how I feel about that. And then Usman goes off and says it with a fucking serious tone. It disgusts me.
Uh,
Y'all will respect Myra Buenosova.
Shitara boy, Rob, what do you got on this fight, man?
My man, let me jump in and say that one of the best stories that could happen in women's MMA is for a veteran, long-term, dare I say, call her a pioneer, Raquel Pennington, to win in a Glover Teixeira esque kind of way, in a women's way, in her own way, but trying to closest comparison I could think of. It would be beautiful, a beautiful, nice little thing to happen to a much maligned, just dragged through the mud division that a lot of people feel disenfranchised in. It would be great. On the other side, I think MBS has a lot of physical attributes, maybe because of youth, and she's clearly strong, that go in her favor. But Raquel Pennington has so much experience against all the women you could think of. She's fought them pretty much. So last tidbit: women, not just women, specifically, excuse me, fighters coming off of a USADA suspension or drug failure suspension, whether it's PEDs, diuretics, all the others, etc., the fighters coming back from a PED suspension usually lose. Take that for what you will. I'm rocking with Rocky.
Uh, Daniel, what do you got on this fight?
It was easy picking this fight. I mean, mind you, yeah, I got family both in Colorado and in Florida because MBS fights with ATT. But, I'm going to side with Team America. And Raquel's a veteran. You can never go against the cardio, and that's a fact. And so that's why I say Pennington by decision. Yeah, just because you submitted Holly Holm with a standing ninja choke doesn't mean nothing because you got popped because your ADHD medication. Look, I think she's fine as hell, but I'm going with Team America right on this one. If it was literally anyone else, I would go with Myra Silva, but not tonight. Raquel Pennington decision.
Better.
Yeah, man. I got Pennington too. She was one of my best calls from last year when she fought Caitlin Vieira. Now that is one girl who was supposed to be in this spot because everyone thought she was gonna win, but I knew Pennington was gonna win that fight because of how her style, how she's able to control against the cage, and how she's able to stick and move with her boxing. That is exactly what's going to happen here, but not early. Silva is super dangerous early, and it's going to be super dangerous for Pennington because Silva just has this imposing style, and she hits with so much power because she's so grounded. So the thing about that is that she's got a good 2 rounds in her. Give me 1 second. My kid's about to come in here and start screaming.
Connor, go ahead and take off while he's gone.
All right, I'm back. Sorry, my bad. I just had to close the door. But yeah, just real quick, yeah, she's dangerous early, but we've seen time and time again that she only has a good 2 rounds in her. The third round is when she fades, but Pennington keeps a consistent pace all 5 rounds. So I have her by decision.
Solid, man. I don't hate it. I'm on the same page. I just think she's able to put the pressure on and possibly to stop the stoppage late. But yeah, I agree with you. Connor, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna pick Pennington as well. I don't have much like reason behind it other than she's like the vet, and I think she's probably, good to go all 5 rounds and whatnot. Um, I don't remember who said it though when they said like I don't think they want Pennington to win in terms of, like the UFC. I don't know who they want to win and be the champion in this division because 135 has become like when Ronda and Nunes were champions. It was sort of like the marquee women's division, but ever since they have left, and even like towards the end of Amanda's reign, it's just so top heavy. And like the vets from Ronda's era is still at the top, and the lower weight class in the women's divisions have become just way more competitive and entertaining and just overall better. So I don't know what they're gonna do with 35. I don't know if either one of these two are destined to be longtime champions. If I don't know if the UFC wants them to be champions. I don't know. It's just sort of a weird fight.
The John Jones effects, the woman that's never fought Amanda Nunes, the one that's learning English, who's going out there finishing fights. That's who they want to win the fight, not the one that's been beaten up and quit on the stool against Amanda Nunes.
I agree. Vinny, what do you got?
I don't think we should be overthinking this fight, guys. I'm with you on the. Were you the one that said the submission for 1400?
KO probably.
Oh, you were taking up KO. I'm thinking more of a submission, but I mean, I got Bueno Silva all the way. I don't think Pennington is gonna want to grapple, but Bueno Silva's defense is not gonna let her. I think she's gonna choke her. Not the same as a ninja choke we did before, but I think she'll have like a some kind of riding on her back. She's just too good. She's too fast. Pennington's not gonna be able to hold her. It's over for Pennington. This streak I'm talking about.
YB, close it out for us.
So, um, I'm in love with Myra. Like, I just gotta say that first off, right? And she's got an amazing chest. So, just to get that out there, right?
Keep it
And
fight
ass
focused,
too.
brother.
Don't
Come
forget
on.
the
She
ass.
has all the like advantages here. I'm just not sure why something's up with the numbers. Gary had mentioned earlier, and I had my parlay, and we were like really lined up and everything, and the numbers didn't really. Something was sketchy there, so I'm just saying MBS is parlay buster of the week, and probably be careful with that one because Rocky on a 4 fight win streak is something to behold, right? 4 or 5 or whatever y'all said because I can't remember. It's late. But yeah, give me Rocky late in the fight.
Seems like we're all on the one side except for Usman, I believe it was, and then like also Daniel, or was it no somebody else. But
No,
yeah,
me and
much
Usman are on Myra.
was that?
Me and Usman are on Myra.
It's
I forgot.
always Usman. It's always him.
I forgot you boys are packaged in nowadays.
I'm on Myra as well. I'm on Bueno.
Oh, okay.
Muy
So,
bueno, muy bueno.
Andrew, what we got next?
Main event time. That's what we have next. Um,
Hey,
this
hold on. Hey, hold on, Andrew. Let's hey, real quick. I just want to know about one fight. That's it. That's it.
Hmm.
you son
Hey,
of a bitch.
You gonna
man, it's
you
real.
gonna backtrack, Bus?
Nah, just one fight, man. I'm not. I ain't
What you
finna
got?
backtrack the whole fight card. I know y'all probably impatient right now. The Honor Allen and the whatever Evil Law. Who everybody on?
It was kind of back and forth on that one.
Mozart.
I think most people were on Movesar, but there was a few on Arnold Allen in here as well.
Okay, I bet.
Over
Say less.
2.5, bro.
Yeah, that sounds good. I like that for sure.
Take the over.
All right, so we're gonna
Thank
move
you.
to the main event. Trace had asked everyone in the beginning, like, what everyone's most anticipated fight was for this card. For me, it's this one, and the reason why, not just because it's a main event. The real reason why is because I'm fucking torn. Like, I don't have any take on this fight. Like, I have takes, but like, I feel like this fight could truly go either way. I feel like this is a true pick 'em. And based on it's a true pick 'em, I can't take a side with this fight. So I'm super excited for this fight. I will be a spectator for this one. There will be no bets on this fight for me. But here we go. Sean Strickland, 28-5. Drekus is 20-2. Both 6'1", both with the same reach at 76 inches. Sean Strickland is an orthodox fighter. Drekus is a switch fighter. We're going to go to the stats. They both have very high output. Sean puts out 5.8 strikes a minute, and Drekus puts out just about 7. Sean takes back 4.24 strikes, and Drekus takes back 3.79 strikes. Striking defense, 63% for Sean, 53% for Drekus. If we go to the grappling, obviously Drekus grapples a lot more. He averages almost 3 takedowns per 15 minutes. Sean averages 1, but he hasn't fucking wrestled in like a decade, so we don't even need to worry about that. He has 84% takedown defense, however. Drekus' takedown defense is only 40%. They are both coming off of a big win streak. Sean is obviously coming off of his huge upset over Adesanya, and Drekus is coming off of his huge upset win over Whitaker. So, yeah, the show. Go ahead, man.
Come on, pick a side.
Global averages are minus 111 on both sides. You can't get plus money on either one of these boys anywhere right now. I'm scrolling it. Yeah, that's
That's what
it.
I'm saying, bro. Like,
Fuck that. Easy cap. Sean Strickland's gonna beat the brakes off Dracus Duplessis. I don't know how everybody doesn't see it, man. I was live for Dracus's last fight, then I went back and watched it. I watched the fight before that. I was high on Dracus. I went back and watched Sean's last couple fights, watched the last fight, watched the evolution of what they're doing. What is Dracus gonna do that Izzy couldn't? Like that's what I just can't understand. Like, what is it that he's gonna do that is he couldn't? I mean, is it going to be that when it's time to tangle, he's going to stand in the pocket and bang? Cool. Strickland clearly is going to throw that weird jab and step back and come in with that weird overhand, if that's what you want to call it. And he's going to come in and out if he wants to. I just don't see how Drakus is going to implement what he did to Whitaker on Sean at this point. Yeah, I think it's easy cap. I don't think it should be crazy odds, but I think Sean should be minus 160, 170, 180. That's just my take. I will bet Sean Strickland. I will bet. I probably will not bet the props, but I'd like to say I'm going to bet inside the distance.
Are you like the over 1.5, Joe?
1.5? Hell yeah.
that's
Um,
free.
yeah. Even the 2.5 is good, man. Like the 2.5 is going to be nice too. Unless you think Drakus can go in there and really hurt Sean. I don't even spite all the drama and all the head game shit. And you guys know I think that plays a heavy hand in fights. Spite all that, I don't think Sean is shook like that. I think Sean is really who Sean has told people who he is. I think he really comes from where he tells people he comes from. And when he tells Drakus, hey man, I'm not mad, but if you say it again, I'm gonna fucking stab you. And then he goes on his YouTube channel and buys a knife while he's in Canada. I think he's really that guy. I don't think he's shook. I think he's just letting him know, like, look, we can go fight, or you can talk about some horrible shit that happened about me when I was a kid, and we can have a fucking problem. So I don't think he's shook. I think he's in the right mind frame, and I think Drakus is, man. Honest to God, man, I don't feel like he's taking it as serious as he should. I think he thinks this fight is a layup, and he's going to be in for a big surprise.
Rob, go ahead and take it for us.
Sorry, I had my mic muted there for a second. Yo, this is great. This fight is great. I like that the odds. Thank you for sharing that the odds are dead even. As I joke, when that happens, you know that the odds makers are just saying "fuck you" to everybody, and they're just collecting off the top. That means there's no feels, right? This is a scrap. If the pros are saying there's no direction, they're not trying to hurt anybody. They don't need to encourage betting. It's just going to happen. Then, man, I mean, in all honesty, this is just a pick who you like, what you want to see happen. In all honesty, I think over a course of time that Strickland has a few more options. If you look at Drickus, and I'm going to borrow what Joe said because, watch it live, blah, blah, watch, probably saw the same thing. Joe, correct me if I'm wrong. But Drickus literally has 3 combinations. Like,
Yeah, one trick, bro. He's one trick.
he's so that, and Strickland is a reading and a sequence specialist. Uh, I'm not no fucking striking master. I'm no UFC fighter, but I mean, a three combo variation. That's to me, that's the little bit advantage. If I'm looking at it deep, that's the little bit advantage that makes me go, and still, good old Sean Strickland.
Yeah, for me, I like Sean Strickland in this fight. I think of the two, the person that we're most likely to see a takedown shot from would be Drickus, and I think Sean could actually stuff the takedowns whenever it comes to that point. I think we see the fight start off strong. They kind of stand in front of each other, start trading a little bit. Um, Drickus tries a few blitzes, doesn't work, and then slowly as the fight goes on, he starts to get more and more tired, and then Sean does what he does. He starts applying the pressure, walking him down, touching him up, never giving him the time to breathe, always putting something on him, always hitting him with something. Like I said, the problem with him is he is very smothering. He doesn't let you breathe. He walks you down and he stays on you. He doesn't, once he gets you hurt, he doesn't let you go. I think he's going to continuously hurt Drickus, and Drickus is going to start shooting takedowns. And when he can't get the takedowns, he's going to panic and he's going to get caught and he's going to get dropped. And what happens from there, I don't know if it's going to be he gets dropped and then he gets pounded out, or if Sean decides to strangle him. I think that we know Sean Strickland well enough to know that he's probably going to want to go the violent route and try to hurt this man, especially after some of the shit he said. He might say that they're friends right now and they're cool, but he just got you to say you'll fight him to the death. So I think he's probably going to try to beat the fuck out of you, make a statement for everybody. So yeah, I sprinkled Sean Strickland's rounds 3, 4, and 5. All at plus 1,200 and better. I think it's a late round stoppage, but I wouldn't be surprised. I'm thinking about waiting. I might pull the trigger sooner, but I'm going to wait and see where the line goes. I might even take a shot on the submission prop because I know it's going to be super high. We do know Sean does have submission chops or blue jiu-jitsu chops, and weird shit happens in those main events, man. So yeah, I might take a shot on that as well, but I think Sean Strickland gets the KO late. Uh, Andrew, and then we'll pass it off to MMA Chad. We'll get somebody new on the mic after that. Go
Yeah,
ahead, Andrew.
Strickland may talk like Tarzan, but he definitely fights like Jane. I'm not buying this war bullshit. If you've ever watched Sean Strickland fight, he doesn't fucking do that. He always likes to talk big like that. He doesn't fight that way. Let's be fucking real. But he does have a major fucking chin. The only person to really knock him out is probably one of the strongest guys in the UFC history, and Pereira. Dude, over 2.5 minus 120 just feels like free money to me. I don't see Sean getting knocked out, and I don't see Dricus getting knocked out. I feel like this is going to be one of those sneaky fights that just goes over. It might even go the distance somehow, but over 2.5 feels very safe to me.
MMA Chad.
Shit, sorry. I've lost my path in here. I've been sitting listening for a while. uh,
All good. We can come back to you, brother. Get your hand back up if it comes back to you.
yeah, sure. Fuck it.
Uh, Connor, what you got?
Yeah, I'm not sure who I'm leaning towards, but I do think that Sean Strickland is definitely the better fighter, but I don't think that he's gonna have nearly as much success as he did against Izzy. I think that this fight and Dricus is a completely different style from Izzy. Like you'll see Sean be much more defensive oriented against guys like Jared and like Poetan, but against Izzy, he did not fear his power at all. So he was just marching him down, especially when he knocked him down in the first round. Like it was pretty much game over after that because nothing that Izzy threw, like Sean didn't give a shit about. But Dricus is much more physical, has much more power than Izzy. So I feel like early on in the fight, maybe the first 2 rounds, 2.5 rounds, Dricus is gonna, he might be the one like marching forward and kind of putting it on Sean. But as the fight goes on, I think Sean with his cardio, he's got 5 round experience. That's gonna favor him. So it's really just gonna be like a round by round. I say Dricus early, Sean late, and then whoever can maybe win the third round is probably who will win the fight. I'd probably lean towards Sean, but I definitely don't think this is gonna be an easy fight for either dude.
So sorry if I may. I remember what I was gonna say. I zoned out for a little bit. Because I remember someone talking about the over 1.5, and that's when I locked and loaded, and I was thinking about what I wanted to say to everyone. And if you're gonna bet the over 1.5, I think it's just a poor bet. Um, as far as putting money on the over goes, you're kind of taking in all the risk of the early Dricus explosion with none of the benefit based on the line. So take it easy. Don't bet over 1.5. You're much better off betting an over 2.5 or a GTD if it tickles your fancy that way, which is probably the way this fight goes. Barring the early Dricus explosion, this likely goes the distance. I don't know, maybe 8.5 times out of 10. So don't blow your load on 1.5. It's a lot of risk for not a lot of reward. If Dricus is not finishing in the first round or two, you're just paying a lot of juice for something that's not worth the squeeze. So, um, yeah, or also for the people that have the books that have Sean Strickland, significant strikes, and whatnot. If you have the options, I've seen a few different offerings, and you can basically get his money line with significant strikes that he will hit in 2 rounds. So you can do that as well and just enjoy the ride. If the fight goes longer than 2 rounds, he's gonna hit that. So yeah, that's what I was thinking while the shit was loading. I got back in, fellas. Sorry for I've had a couple drinks.
All good, brother. All good. Uh, Vinny, what do you got on this fight?
All right, guys. Here's my take on this fight. Joe, I'm against you today, or on this one, I got DDP all the way. I know you said that he's only got a couple moves, a couple of takes, but I. I know a lot of people say he doesn't have stamina, but you got to remember he also just got that surgery on his nose, which makes him makes him breathe a little better. I don't know if you guys knew about that. Ever since the last couple of fights, you notice his stamina went up compared to before. And I just don't think Strickland's that good, man. I mean, I think Mr. Dana White put them together or sat them together for a reason. He wanted fucking Ron Strickland to start a fight with him, which they did. I think he's gonna get the belt. And for him, he's looking at opening up that market in South Africa. You got that pretty boy that was supposed to fight this on this card as well, but he something happened to him. I forgot his name. He's also South African. He's gonna be a pretty good one. I just think he's trying to open up that South Africa market, and I don't think Ross Strickland's is it's out anymore. I mean, he took the belt against Adesanya, and that was his big moment. So
Alan, Alan, I love you, bro, but there's absolutely no need for a business level for them to penetrate the South African market, which, in all due respect, is impoverished in general. The African continent does absolutely $0 in pay-per-view buys or streaming revenue. There will be
but you got to
no,
start. You got to
there's
start somewhere,
absolutely
brother.
zero, there's zero governmental incentive by any of those countries for tourism or importing special athletic events. So with all that being said, uh, yes, yes, the UFC does like to play their champions as a way into an emerging market. But South Africa, Africa as a whole, unfortunately, look at sports business as a whole. Nobody gives a shit. There you go.
Well, that's your take. I don't think Dana White is looking at it that way because he's trying to open up that, like you said, that Africa market. It does not only include South Africa; it includes all of Africa. He's got to start somewhere.
Name me one hotbed in the continent of Africa besides South Africa for MMA.
So here's what I will say that Dana White, I'm not defending Vinny, but just a comment real quick. I literally watched a interview today where they asked Dana White if he wants to get into boxing, and he said, "Listen, Saudi Arabia's got that locked up. They got enough money to do anything they want. They can blow it, they can lose it, and it does. Nobody can compete with them." Saudi Arabia is investing in parts of Africa into MMA with PFL. So there is a reason to get over there a little bit, but I agree with Rob. He doesn't need to like break into that market. It's just he, he just they already have fair share in that market. I agree with Rob. I just seen that interview though where Dana said that just happened. I think yesterday or the day before.
All right, we got a few
Oh,
more people that still request.
can I also say one more thing? One more thing, boys. Yesterday in the on the meet the press or whatever you want to call it, um, the first thing fucking Dana White talked about was how much money he made in Canada. He said something like 7 million per gate or per revenue, whatever. So he knows exactly how much money he's going to bring in into each location, how much he's going to be able to. Canada was never that good until he did it in the last couple. The last That's why he went back to it, and that's why he's going to give him all.
All right, we're gonna get back to the fight, back to the point of this space. We're not gonna go off on a tangent on these. Uh, Connor, or better. You've been waiting a while. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Whoever says Sean isn't that good, man, I think you need to go watch his fights again. Sean is so good, and especially his striking defense. And look, his striking defense to me is just the best I've ever seen from anyone. Especially since the way he moves his hands. No one deflects shots with their hands like Sean Strickland, and he
Hell
does that from
yeah.
a close range.
He like Floyd Mayweather with this shit, huh? Like Floyd Mayweather, huh?
No, Floyd Mayweather implies head movement. Sean Strickland uses his hands. I'm talking about how he uses his hands.
He's
He
all
does it
he's
from a
all
close
parries.
range.
He's parries. He's not head movement.
Yeah, so he knows how to. use his hands. It's like he could see the shot coming before it comes. And it doesn't matter how powerful you are, he can roll with the power strike too, but it's mostly hands and footwork. And he keeps a close measured range and just ups the volume as the round goes on. Ups it, ups it, ups it. And that is what's gonna be bad for Dricus. Like the nose job, man, come on, he still got tired. He's the only time I was ever impressed by Dricus was Robert Whitaker. I will admit that impressed me because he had a game plan and he followed through with it and it worked. But other than that, this is a bad stylistic matchup because Dricus, when he gets frustrated, because he has been before, because he is so hittable, he gets wild, and that's just going to get him more tired. And Sean is a calm fighter. He knows he's been in there so many times. Nothing really bothers him. So the volume is just going to get more and more as the round goes on. I think it's going to be a decision, but I would not be surprised by a late finish.
I agree 100%. I did forget to mention that I do have the plus 350 decision by Sean Strickland as well. But like I said, I also sprinkled the KO round 3 and 4 and 5. Good take there. Better. Always a good take. Daniel, what you got on this fight?
I disagree. He bought a knife for DDP. That's taking the fight seriously. Would I buy a gun just because a Karen made a racial slur to some of our ethnicity friends in here? Yes, I would, and I would shoot them, then cut out their white push and give it to D Baby for Christmas. Better yet, his birthday. But back to the fight. Strickland is more well-rounded, son of a bitch, well-rounded because he can finish fights and he can go a distance. DDP's never gone a distance, so I question his cardio. So that's why I picked this decision. However, I would not be surprised if Strickland finishes DDP. I said it before, and I'll say it again. DDP will get DDT'd. He will not be the first of his country to be a champion UFC history. Just not this Saturday. Maybe someday.
All right, all right. New guy to the mic. Well, let Chaos on the mic. What you got,
What do you
brother?
mean, you guy? It's me, Chaos, man. I've always been here. But what's up, guys? Uh, as much as I like Sean Strickland, I just don't know, man. I just see like Dricus winning. I don't know why. I just see him winning. Don't get me wrong. Strickland is a good fighter. This is like on paper, this should be an easy like stylistic matchup for Strickland because Dricus gets tired. But at the end of the day, uh, someone brought up the nose job and actually did come into full effect in that Whitaker fight. He when have we seen a Whitaker get dominated like that? Like a, a fighter that's not named Adesanya, Um, so yeah, I think I don't know. I just see I don't see Dricus beating. I don't see Dricus like knocking Strickland out. I don't know. I just see it like a TKO finish, like ground and pound or decision win. Don't get me wrong. I like Strickland. He's a cool fighter, but I just see Dricus winning that fight. And we all know who Jared Cannonier wants to win on Saturday because I feel like Jared Cannonier, if Strickland wins, they have to make that fight next Jared Cannonier and Strickland too. Or if DDP wins, DDP versus Adesanya. So there's good matchups there after this fight.
I'd say Adesanya and Strickland too makes more sense than anything. But like I said, I heard a few people say it, including DC, that they do say that Adesanya is planning on taking off at least
I
another
think,
year.
yeah. To be honest, Cap, I think Cannonier deserves that title shot after his performance again against Marvin Vittori, and he also beat Strickland. People say that was a robbery, but I really do think that he really beat Strickland. So Jared Cannonier is the next in line if Strickland wins, and if DDP and
No,
no,
I
and
agree.
if DDP wins, the storyline is there for the Adesanya fight. So there's good fights either way after tomorrow's main event.
We've seen more often than not how often the fights pan out when it's not the guy that should be there, but it's the guy that makes the most money Not that makes the most
Yeah, but
sense.
I just don't know about like the the Chimaev being next. I disagree with that. There's like rumors coming out saying that Chimaev is next in line. I think that's bogus.
Ramen, I can't get you on the mic. We don't have enough any more mics able to get out of
You can drop me down. That's fine.
Connor, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I agree with Chaos. I think Jared should be next. I don't think Izzy. I use the word should and deserve and whatnot. I know that kind of makes Andrew cringe, but like I don't even think that like the fight doesn't make sense based on how bad Izzy got beat, and then he's going to be inactive for however long. If Sean wins, let's say, and then if Drickus wins, I guess they can do whatever. But no, I think Jared should be next. I know people keep bringing up the whole like nose problem that Drickus had, but like when did he get that fixed? Because it's not as if he went 3 hard rounds with Robert Whitaker.
The funny
You know what
part
I'm
is,
saying?
Connor,
Like
he actually got it fixed for the Whitaker fight. That's like he actually got it fixed for the Whitaker fight. Uh, Before that, his nose was apparently he was only breathing from one nostril, from what I'm hearing. But yeah, he said
right,
his first full fight with the actual like full nose was the Whitaker fight.
right. Yeah, that's what I thought. But like the thing is, like people bring that up as in like he got it fixed and then he went 5 hard rounds with somebody and it's like, oh, see, now he can go. Now he has cardio. But like he beat Robert. Like he beat his ass towards the end of the first round and then he finished him in the second. And you could say that he maybe would have slowed down in the second, but it's not as if it was a grueling fight that really had to test his cardio. I think this is the fight that's going to test his cardio because I don't think it's going to go. I don't think he's going to finish it, and I don't think he's going to get finished in the first couple rounds. I think it's going to go probably all 5. So if he had nose problems before, hopefully he got them fixed, and he's going to use his cardio for this fight.
And I just feel like Trickus is like. I'm sorry to interrupt. I also feel like Trickus is like like he's just powerful. He's just like his that jab that I don't know how that jab knocked down Robert Whitaker. That's how strong Drickus is. So it's gonna be a very cool fight, very tough fight to see, and Drickus likes to come forward. So I'm very intrigued to see how that fight is going to play out. Like don't get me wrong, like I like both fighters. I really do love both fighters, but man, it's just tomorrow. Like on paper, people want to shit on this card, but for the non casuals like us up here, this card's good. Even the co-main after that press conference, tomorrow's gonna be a good night, boys.
So we're gonna go ahead and call it there, as we went almost 3 hours at this point. Don't want to keep Rob too long. I appreciate Rob coming in and being a guest speaker. Uh, Always an honor, brother. It's good to get up with you. It's good to have you on the show. If you want to plug your stuff before you get out of here, we can go ahead and get that going for you, bro.
First off, you know what it is. I gotta say thank you, and I want to explain why it's taken, some time for me to get here. It's just schedule. Schedule really was the time. The time just never lined up. Um, because I got something to say, man. My grandmother passed away last week Friday. She raised me. She was the number one person in my life, and she'd been battling cancer for 8 years, and I helped her and my grandpa helped them along. So just Friday nights, man, just I couldn't make it. Uh, God rest her soul. She doesn't need my help anymore. So with that being said, I get to be here with you guys, and thank you so much for having me. Thank you guys for supporting in every which way. I love what you guys have done. I've watched you guys grow your brand, grow your shows, grow to multiple like so beautiful to see. Good people who put in hard work and good people supporting it. I see so many good, like I said, familiar faces in the room. If you are available, join me during the UFC events. I proudly say I have the longest running MMA watch along space on all of X. Been doing it for over 2+ years. Join me for 5 minutes, 5 seconds. Say hi. 5 hours, doesn't matter. Everybody's welcome, every single time. So, with that being said, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. And man, you guys and the way you guys look at fights, because honestly, you guys know I'm not the biggest gambling expert. I just make picks, but I have a solid respect listening to you guys look at a fight from like 5, 6 different angles that I really don't ever think about, and it's refreshing. So this has been a very pleasurable experience. Thank you, everyone.
Also, for y'all that don't know, Rob also is part of the All Star app, which is a he can probably explain it better than I can, but it's almost like fantasy, and you can compete against other people. I myself have been one of the top rating players when I do play in there. I must say so. If you think you can outpick me or outpick Rob, download the All Star app and roll the die. Let's see what.
Yes. Thank you for saying that. Yes, please download the All Star app. You see the link is in my profile. This is the skinny of it. I was doing a league every month last year, doing giveaways, autograph prizes. I'm not doing the same format, but we're still using the app to make picks. Track yourself. Just do it for fun, and it's not just MMA. It's all sports, no ads, none of that crap. Just have fun, okay? No pop ups, no shit. Fully customizable. You don't have to see nothing you don't want to see, and you can make your own leagues. You don't have to just play in mine. But if you do, sign up, get it, get used to it, play along. All right, because at random throughout the year, I'm gonna be playing. I'm gonna be doing pick'em games for big time shit. And I have a good record. Everybody knows me. Ask around the neighborhood. Like, I've been giving prizes for a cold minute to over 2 years on this app. So I got some cool shit. I also got some plans to do some meetups for big events. And I announced one earlier this year. I don't want to jump. I jumped the gun. I'm somewhat putting Andrew on the spot, but I know he's going to do it anyway. So me, Andrew, and the gang, I know we're all going to do International Fight Week. Hey, shit's expensive in life. I want to talk about this shit early so everybody has time to plan accordingly. Go, get together. When we get together for International Fight Week in Vegas, please do so. I'm also continuing my personal UFC quest of being at every single UFC venue in Las Vegas. So every place that the UFC has ever fought in Las Vegas, I've had the God's blessing to be at, and I'm going to continue that for UFC Noche. I believe September 24th this year. So please join me for that as well if you can, or either or. There you go. Boom.
Appreciate it, Rob. Thanks for coming in, man. Thanks for the kind words, and sorry about your grandmother, my man. Hate to hear that.
Hey,
Joe,
I had to say it because you guys know my profile. So one last time for grandma. Man, she literally bought that shit for me as an 8-year-old kid. Me and my grandpa sat there, watched Ted Tully get his fucking face blasted, and you guys know the story. Thank you, grandma. This is literally gonna be the first UFC by number UFC pay-per-view in my whole 38 years of life without you. So I love you. Thank you, everybody, for your support, your kind words over the past week and a half. God, thank all of you. Thank you.
thank you, Rob. Joe, you got anything you want to say before we get out of here, brother?
Anybody who hasn't been to capmma.com, you should do that. Our odds board is usually reporting from at least 30 boards globally. It breaks it down by region, global averages. You can turn on parlays, check, compare, and rack up parlays. It'll give you the odds at every book so you know where you're getting the best odds at. Sometimes the odds are quite different when you start adding up parlays. It's all free. It doesn't cost anything. We got a bunch of other resources on there, headlines page, resources page, so you can find other things you need to cat fights, tail of the tape, places to find tape to watch. There's a lot of stuff on there. It's hard to run down. I could go on for another 10, but I won't. Thanks for hosting this space tonight, Trace. It went all goddamn night, but it was a good one.
Right along one, boys. Andrew, anything?
No, I just appreciate everyone for coming, man. Tuesdays, Fridays, Sundays, come see us. Most of the time, we're open mic. We appreciate you guys, and have a good night.
Usman? Usman might not be here anymore. D baby, what you got, brother?
Man, I just want to read off my parlay real quick. I'm down on my. I ain't gonna lie, my confidence down right now and shit. But I'm trying to bounce back and shit, man. But let
What's
me read.
good?
Let me read this shit real quick and get up out the way and shit. Hold on. Alright, so I got over
But
1.5 with Strickland and Dricus. Mike Mallet over 2.5. Arnold Allen and Moscar. Brad Cardone. What's it? Brad Katona? Whatever that. Whatever that
Brad
means.
Katona.
Okay. Jasmine. Siri Sydney. Over 1.5. Breno. Myra Breno and Raquel. Over 1.5. Charles Jourdain and Sean Wilson and Chris Curtis. What y'all think?
that sounds like money, dude.
Solid.
Y'all fucking with it?
Chris Curtis was the pick, or was it over?
Oh, Chris Curtis is the pick.
Yo, drop that in the group chat, baby.
I got y'all. I'm trying to.
Anybody in the group
I
chat,
want everybody that counts to look right this year, man. I'm humble, man. I ain't on no selfish shit right now.
B baby's the parlay king. He'll be dropping that in the group chat if he's not in there already. Hit the
Hey,
captain.
hey, y'all remember when I went on that 10 win streak? Them long ass parlays. Damn, I gotta get back on that shit. Them 10 leg
He need
long
to buy
parlays.
another
Nah,
house. He got to get back on that shit.
I
yeah.
won one the last fight corner last year. I got Alonzo Menafield, Josh Emmett, and Ariana Lipsky all as underdogs, and it was a 10-leg parlay, won 17K.
Damn.
Come on, brother. But all right, boys, we're gonna get out of here. Good luck tomorrow on the fight night. Let's beat the books and let's cash, man. Good luck, everybody. Have a good night and let's enjoy the fights.
Good night, everybody.